There's a play in front of the net. Rosenzweig out of his net on the splits. He makes the save. Russell finds it over the blue line, finds Coe in front of the net. He skates behind the net, centers, they score! Kyle Jackson buries it, and the Battalion lead 1-0.
Kyle Jackson picking up his 27th of the season.
Down the other way, here comes Gusten with a shot, they score! Gusten comes in and rips one over the shoulder of DiVincentis, and all of a sudden, with 1:35 remaining, the Niagara Ice Dogs are tied with the Battalion 1-1. To Petrov. Petrov fires it across. The shot comes in, and they score! Dolan Wakely with the deflection off the shot from Paul Christopoulos, and the Battalion do, in fact, regain that lead. It's 2-1.
And the best ever second round draft pick of the North Bay Battalion, Dolan Wakely, gets his 15th of the season on that one.
There's a shot from Russell. Kick save made by Rosenzweig. Jackson picks it up. Sends it to the middle. Russell shot save made. Rebound chance denied as well as Rosenzweig robs him twice with the glove, and it's cleared down the ice. Off the draw, Coe has it. Sets it up in front to Jackson. He toe drags around Rosenzweig and still can't bury it. Now it's Petrov with a chance, and he scores! Petrov on the power play. It's 3-1 North Bay. Punched all the way out to the neutral zone, picked up by Brandon Coe. He'll head to the empty net, and Brandon Coe has another goal this season, his 33rd on the year.
The Coe Show continues.
It's been remarkable to watch Coe this season. It's been remarkable to see what the Battalion have done in the last 2 months. Since January 3rd, they've still only lost 3 times in regulation as the Battalion pick up a big 4-1 win over the Niagara Ice Dogs to start this weekend here at Memorial Garden.
Obviously, the first period was a bit of a snoozer, but do you say anything between the first second? Because when they get 27 shots in a period, obviously they woke up.
Yeah, we ramped things up a little bit. Sometimes you got to challenge the group to rise to the occasion a little bit. We weren't shocked that the first period kind of went the way it went. This team's caused us issues kind of all year, but saying that, the second and third period was pretty solid, and real happy the way the guys responded to us.
The depth of this team is still, I don't want to say mind-boggling, but it's damn impressive. You can trot a line out there and feel comfortable with any of them scoring. You don't have to rely on one line, and come playoff time, it's a huge advantage for any hockey team, and I know you know that.
Absolutely. We've seen it before here in the past with the big runs that have happened here. It's, unsung heroes every single night, and it could be guys that, maybe didn't score the 40 goals this year, but they get that timely goal in the playoffs at the right place at the right time. That's going to be crucial. I think everybody in that room has confidence to put a puck in the net.
The schedule seems to be a little bit more, I don't want to say easy, but more amenable now. You're not playing multiple games in multiple nights, like back-to-back, at least this weekend, and you're getting near the end here. Will you sit guys out at the end to rest them for the playoffs?
I think we got to take it game by game right now. I mean, we're still... we know what we're trying to fight for here. It's no secret that we're trying to clinch something. Games and points are massively important right now, so there's not going to be any of that in the time being, but we'll come to decisions down the road if we need to.
You've been the beneficiary team of this, of hot goaltending as of late, but of course Niagara had quite the goaltender in net tonight. We're only up by 1 goal after 40 minutes. What does that do? I know you've talked about belief before, but what does that do to a team's psyche where you're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him and he's standing tall like that?
I don't know. I mean, you just got to stay with it, and eventually, something's going to go in. You can see our guys kind of double clutching. He's a really good goaltender. I've seen him do that a few times against some other teams. And, give Niagara credit that they battled, they competed, they were undermanned on the defense side things, and they still, caused us issues and battled hard. But you just stick with it, and in the case of probably Matt Bay's goal, I think it was just bury your head and rip it as hard as you can, and it seemed to work.
Kyle didn't play tonight, and I'm still trying to see what he did to get suspended. How long is he out for?
We're not too sure right now. We were just instructed to have him, stay out here tonight, serve one of the games, and it's yet to be determined.
Wakely was on a bit of a slump getting a goal there today. What does that do for a young guy like that, confidence-wise?
Well, again, we've seen it time and time this year when he kind of gets, breaks through, he scores in bunches. I thought he did a real good job, stepping up in Big Mac's shoes there and playing on that line. He really moved his feet here tonight, and again, it's just kind of like next man up mentality, and he did a great job.
Another big Central Division foe coming up Sunday. Barrie, what do you expect out of that one?
It's going to be a tight game. I mean, they're such a really good hockey team. Playing them recently here, and it's going to be that kind of a game where, we've got to be really detailed and dialed in defensively, and we're going to have to capitalize when we can on their tight check and defense.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
And we welcome you to another afternoon of North Bay Battalion hockey on our game day broadcast. Big game today between the Battalion and the Barrie Colts. Big Central Division matchup. Barrie still alive for the number 2 seed in the playoffs. North Bay leads the Central Division, and with a win today and a Mississauga loss would eliminate the Steelheads from a division title. But Barrie still very much alive because of those games in hand. Barrie has 8 games left. North Bay has 6. And so they play 2 more times this year, this afternoon, and of course coming up next Saturday night at the Saddlon Arena. So a couple of big games going on between North Bay and Barrie. It's also a big game today. It's an important game for organ donation. Of course, many people in this area of North Bay have been impacted through the receiving donated organs. And of course, this story has been front and center because of the story of Noah Dugas, just an amazing young boy, a hockey player who passed away much too soon, and but his family arranged for 7 of his organs to be donated to help out other people, and they also formed an organization which you're going to be hearing about. If you want more information on the organization, go to noahstrong.ca. The organization is committed to enhancing more lives of Ontarians waiting for life-saving transplants by advocating for organ and tissue donation consent. Noah's organ donation gave hope and health to 7 individuals and their families. Because of his caring and compassionate nature, Noah lives on. You can check your status and register consent to be an organ donor, as I have. And you can go to Noah's personal campaign page. It just takes a couple of minutes to change someone's life. You can do it through your driver's license. You can do it through noahstrong.ca. Here are the facts. 90% of Ontarians support organ donation, but only 35% are registered. It takes a couple of minutes. Register your organs to be donated upon your passing, and you will make someone's life possible. And that's what it's all about. And I know we've done stories over the years about organ donation, and North Bay's always at the top of the list. Well, at last check, North Bay was in 2nd place, so maybe some of these donation cards can be signed over the next few weeks to move North Bay back into top spot. So it's just a great thing the family's doing, and remembering Noah, and Noah Strong is what it's all about this afternoon here at Memorial Gardens as the North Bay Battalion play the Barrie Colts. We'll talk to Dave Dugas first intermission tonight about Noah and about the campaign to get more people to get involved in this project. As for the game today, both teams not on the ice yet, but it should be a good one. Let's talk about, let's bring in Derek Lindeman. And Derek, this is a big game, no doubt about it. I mean, the two teams combined have lost 3 games in their last 20. 10 for North Bay, 10 for Barrie. Barrie's on a roll, beating London last night. North Bay's on a roll, trying to wrap up a division title. So a lot on the line this afternoon.
Exactly that, Bob. And the last time these two teams met was just a couple of weeks ago here in North Bay, with the Battalion coming away with a 3-2 victory over the Barrie Colts. But it hasn't been easy for the North Bay Battalion this year. They've lost 5 of the 8 games so far against this Barrie Colts team. They're always in a tight game. And it's going to be a different look team for this Barrie Colts, as they got Brant Clark back in the lineup for coming off of the suspension, and Ty Forrester, we're going to get the first look at him. He's got 4 goals in 5 games, including a hat trick in last night's win over the London Knights.
Yeah, Brandon Coe 6 points away from 1,000. We mentioned the NoahStrong.ca. Let's hear more about that organization. Yes, green shirt day. And Derek, you're wearing a green shirt today in honor of this great foundation that's been set up by the Dugas family, and organ donation. Again, doesn't take much effort, but it can make a world of a difference for someone.
Definitely, Bob, and I know I've been an organ donor for as long as I can remember, and able to commute for myself, and just nice to be able to help those people in those times, just in case. And you know what? Great in the Dugas family, and giving up that for Noah to help those 7 individuals just further on their life, while Noah wasn't able to, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was some moment in North Bay, wasn't it, when they did that hockey game with Sudbury, and remembering Noah, and of course his story became international news, and what an inspiration he was to his teammates, his family, and to the community as well. So we remember Noah today, no doubt about that, and we pay it forward by signing that organ donation card, however you do it. But again, that website, NoahStrong.ca. So we're getting ready for hockey. These games are big, no doubt about it. And what kind of game do you think we're going to have, Derek?
I think it's going to be one of those rivalry games that we always expect between these two teams. Only 3 hours separate them between Highway 11, and Barrie's certainly looking to come in here and make a statement, as they want to get things going for the playoffs. They have an outside shot still to creep up to win the Central Division, but the North Bay Battalion are in the driver's seat right now, leading that division currently by 5 points over the Mississauga Steelheads, and with wins in their next 2 games could clinch as early as next Thursday.
No Matt Guzda for starting for Barrie. Joe Verbetic gets the start for North Bay. Should be a dandy as these two teams battle it out here in a key Central Division matchup late in the season. We'll now go to public address announcer Brian Floyd.
Fans, it's North Bay Youth Soccer Day, and everyone is looking to return a Tidbits soccer program after a 2-year hiatus. The North Bay Youth Soccer Club ensures that each player is allowed to reach their full potential. This is achieved by ensuring that each player has equal playing time, practices, and has the opportunity to participate in specialized clinics. Please welcome North Bay Youth Soccer players Haley Weber, Owen Overholm, and Gabrielle Checkaneezy, along with Youth Soccer Executive Mark Checkaneezy. Oh yes, Battalion Captain Liam Arnsby and Barrie Captain Brian Clark join our guests at center ice. Fans, please rise as IG Wealth Management presents the North Bay Military Wise Choir for the singing of our national anthem.
Another key lineup note today before we throw it to Courtney and Derek. Kyle McDonald not in the lineup. Received word of a suspension the other day, so be another week before he's back in the lineup at least. So Battalion will have to make do here. So no one gets to sit this one out up front, but they'll miss his physical presence in a game like this for sure. And 3 more games, we understand, after today without Kyle McDonald. So we'll see how that plays in it. And now to call it, Courtney Kenny and Derek along for the color. Have a good one, boys.
Thanks a lot, Bob. We'll look forward to hearing more from you during the first intermission. Let's take a look at how these two teams enter tonight. The Barrie Colts come in 5th in the Eastern Conference. They got a 33-21, 5-1 record. And the North Bay Battalion come in 2nd in the East, 1st in the Central Division, 38-18, 3-3. Your starting goaltenders for tonight for the Barrie Colts, making his 2nd OHL start, Nolan Chartrand. He is 0-1 on the season, a .309 goals against average, and an .889 save percentage. His only other game also came against his same Battalion team here in North Bay. And getting the start for the North Bay Battalion is number 1, Joe Verbetic. He comes in with 42 games played, 26 wins, 10 losses, 3 overtime losses, and 3 shootout losses, 2 shutouts, with a 2.94 goals against average and a .904 save percentage. So we're in for quite the goaltender matchup again tonight. Now let's welcome in Courtney Kenny for tonight's call.
Thank you very much, Derek, and of course Bob for taking us through the pregame. And as you mentioned, Joe Verbetic, he's now in the top 10 of Battalion wins of all time with 40. He's 2 away, and we're underway here at Memorial Gardens with the Barrie Colts and their road whites going left to right, and the Battalion in their home greens going right to left as a shot comes in on Verbetic from McDonald, who just kicks it away. Puck back out to the Battalion blue line, but they can't get it out. And a big hit at center ice on Jelsma from Mitch Russell as the puck goes back out front, and a shot comes in from the distance. And now the Battalion trying to move up through the neutral zone, but they're taking off the puck as York gets it back to his D-man Connor Punnett. McDonald now with the shot earlier coming back in on the half wall. Gets it back to the blue line, and it's out all the way to the neutral zone. And that's Akey who picks it up in his zone. Colts now quickly back up as they just dump it in off the stick of McDonald. Mathurin goes to collect, and he looks to get it up ice quickly, but Van Steensel now with the puck in his own zone. He's being harassed as he loses the puck. And it's Grisolia that got it off his stick, but the Battalion recover in the neutral zone. Wakely into the Colts zone with a shot. Chartrand in and out of the glove. He gets his first touch. And Arnsby now behind the net. Tries to get it out front for Van Steensel to Wakely. Dallin Wakely gets a goal. That's 2 games in a row for Wakely. Or as they said on Cogeco the other day, Wakey, Wakey. There's Dallin Wakely.
Wakey to the fans here. North Bay is Dallin Wakely is 16th on this season. Puts the Battalion up a minute 5 here in this first period. That's the start you want. The North Bay Battalion looking to put the fans here on the edge of their seats early on, and that's what Wakely has done. Giving this 7th man something to cheer about already here. Only 65 seconds into this first period of play. Wakely, his 16th of the season. Battalion lead 1-0.
What a goal and what a way to get the Battalion up and off and running. As you heard Bob mention in the pregame, it's a huge game for both teams as the puck's now back into the Colts zone. Now through the neutral zone, the Colts get it into the Battalion zone, but Ladd knocks it back down. And Podolou gets it deep into the Colts zone for Clark, the LA Kings prospect. Chase after. Allenson up the half side wall. Goes cross ice to Forster. Forster, the Flyers pick, just recently brought back to the Colts. Gets it in and is sent back for Petrov. Petrov over to Tarasevic. Tarasevic gets it into the zone for Podolou in the middle, and he tries to get it over to Petrov, and it just goes through skates. I don't think Podolou realized what great real estate he had going for him. Forster, now it's called offside, but yeah, I don't think Podolou realized really how much he was almost all alone in the slot.
Yeah, quite a bit of time there. Would have liked to seen that shot, but maybe a little bit trying to make that look a little bit more fancier than it should have been. Battalion come in on a 3-game winning streak. Their most recent victory came Thursday night as they beat the Niagara Ice Dogs by a score of 4-1 right here. And their next game will be Thursday night, taking on the Mississauga Steelheads.
Another big game, of course, against the Steelheads, as they're the closest competition in the Central Division. And as you mentioned, they could clinch the Central Division as early as Thursday. And now the Colts are into the Battalion zone. They could have clinched today, but the pesky Colts had to go on and win in overtime there last night against the London Knights. In the corner now against the Troops. But we'll get all into all those matchups later on. Derek's the math whiz, so he knows all that stuff better than I do. Puck out to the slot. It misses the net on Verbetic's blocker side. And the Battalion get it back out. Akey picking up the neutral zone. He carries it in. Akey just splitting the defense. Gets it out to the slot, but it goes right through everybody's skates. And back out to the point. Sema takes his man hard into the boards, and the puck's back behind the net. Christopoulos picking it up. He gets it up to Outwater. Outwater just standing at his blue line looking for some options. He gets it cross ice to Coe. What a nice pass as Coe tries to toe drag around a Colt, and he can't quite make it. But what a nice pass by Outwater. Good to see him engaged early. Nelson in the zone. Goes behind his net. Turns it around. Nobody there as Jackson has to go and pick it up in his corner. Jackson tips it out front, and then it's left for Winslow. Winslow with some speed. Just goes cross ice into the far side corner, and Allenson picks it up in the Colt zone. Allenson for Clark, but it misses him up to McDonald. And Jackson just batting it out of the air through the neutral zone. Back to Winslow. Winslow gets it up, and Russell tries to chip it in, but he stood up at the blue line by Clark. And Winslow goes after it. Jackson now goes after it again in the zone, but Jelsma picks it up. Jelsma chips it out, and it's past McDonald and Winslow, and Nelson will have to get it in the Battalion zone. Nelson behind his net as he's being harassed by York. He looks up ice, tries to get it to Russell, but it's going to go for icing as it was out of the reach of Russell's stick, as icing is now waved off, however. And it's left for Connor Punnett, the Powassan product, behind his own net. Punnett looking for line change, gets all his guys out there and decides to carry the puck up the ice for the neutral zone and go for a bit of a skate. He overskates it in the neutral zone, leaving it for Arnsby. Arnsby up to Van Steensel. Van Steensel takes a shot, but is blocked by Tiller. Puck now back through the neutral zone into the Battalion zone. And Mathurin chasing after it. It just has enough speed to go offside or icing.
Taking a look at the Barrie Colts and how they are coming in of late. They're red hot, also winning 4 of their last 5. 4 of those in a row. Most recently was a 5-4 victory last night over the London Knights. Bo Gelsma with the winner in overtime. But again, this Barrie Colt team, if they run the table out, can actually find a way to win the Central Division still.
I would have to say if I'm a betting man, which going to the casino yesterday proved that I was a bit of one, I would say it's probably unlikely for the Colts at this point, but still they do have a mathematical chance, as it's Wakely now at the half side wall out front to Arnsby, but Arnsby can't get the handle. Arnsby gets it back to the blue line for Ladd. Ladd takes a shot and is stopped by Chartrand. Yeah, it's just a bit of an, I think it's too tall of a task for the Colts at this point. I mean, stranger things have happened, but I think the Central Division, is coming down between the Battalion and Steelheads for sure.
So the way it stands between the Battalion and the Steelheads have 4 games remaining, including one today. They are taking on Sudbury down in Mississauga. So the Steelheads have a possibility of still getting up to 85 points. The Battalion currently sit at 82. So a victory in the next 2 games will give the Battalion the Central Division crown.
Of course, going a long way is all the recent victories of the Steelheads too. And we'll see them again on Thursday as the puck's into the Battalion zone. And it's behind the net as they try to get it out front for Grizolia, but he can't get it as Nelson's now away through neutral zone. Nelson looks cross ice for Petrov as the 2 2020 first overall picks, albeit in the priority selection and import draft, connect. But the Colts get it back, but it's out to the blue line, and Petrov picks it back up. Petrov taken down, fans calling for a penalty, but nothing's coming. And Tarasevic now loses the handle of it. Grizolia through the neutral zone. Takes a shot, and Verbetic just gloves it down. Once again, looking for that Golden Glove Award.
So looking at the numbers with the Barrie Colts have 8 games remaining, including this one. They can get up to a total of 88 points. So the Battalion sitting at 82 points, need a total of 6 points to clinch the Central Division over the Barrie Colts. 2 of those games remaining with the Barrie Colts are both tonight and next Saturday with the same North Bay Battalion team. So it's really the North Bay Battalion that control their own destiny heading in down this stretch. The Battalion sitting now with 6 games remaining in the season, including tonight.
And that was something that Ryan Houlihan said to me after the game in Mississauga a week ago, that the Battalion kind of control their destiny and they don't have to keep watching the scoreboard anymore, which is nice for sure as the puck's out to the neutral zone and Allenson picks it up. Clark now looking up ice. He gets it up to Matthews. Matthews back to Clark. Clark looking cross ice to Allenson. Allenson with the shot, and Verbetic stands tall and blocks that one. Romani now in his own zone. Romani with a little bit of a spinorama out of necessity as he almost lost the handle of it, so he had to do something. And it's over to Christopoulos, who gets it up to Outwater. He just chips it into the Colt zone. Clark now with a bit of a head fake, almost gets Outwater out of his skates, and the puck's up to the neutral zone again. Romani picking it up. He dumps it back in. A bit of pitch and catch here between the Colts and the Battalion. As it's up to Tabak. Now Coe coming in on a sharp angle, gets the shot, but instead it goes wide of the net. And the Colts are back in their own zone with Allenson picking up the puck. Allenson over to Clark. Clark looking up ice. And gets it through the neutral zone, but Russell blocks it and knocks it down and sends it off to Jackson. Jackson gives it back to Russell. Russell from a bad angle. He misses the net too. Mathurin tries to get it at the blue line, but the puck jumps over his stick. It goes all the way down to Joe Verbetic, waiting for it in his own corner. Verbetic almost gives it away. He does to Gelsma, but they can't get anything going. Tabak now gets it out to McDonald. McDonald with the shot, and it's blocked by Gelsma, thankfully for Joe Verbetic. And they can't get a hold of the puck, and it's back through the neutral zone. Russell chips it in and goes off. It's back up quickly for McDonald. McDonald now, he's going to be pesky tonight, isn't he? He gets a good shot away. Verbetic with the pad save. Back to the blue line for Lemieux. Lemieux with the shot, and it's blocked by Verbetic. In the corner now for McDonald. McDonald looking out front, and he does get it, but instead it's lost to Akey at the blue line. Akey over to back and with the shot, and it's missed. Or Haight, I should say. Nelson in the corner. He looks up ice for Russell. Russell just gets it off his skate, and it goes down the length of the ice, but it's not enough as it goes for icing, so we'll have another stoppage and play with 12:29 left in the first period.
Our last shift seemed to get the momentum going for the Barrie Colts, as now they have jumped out to the lead in shot 6-3 here with 7.5 minutes gone in this first period. Joe Verbetic not helping himself, giving one away in the corner, but able to recover to make a sliding save. Verbetic looking good so far and making all 6 saves.
Back out to the blue line for the Colts off the face-off win. Nelson gets it up the boards, and it's not sent back in by the Colts. Colts send it around behind the net again, and Winslow's now pinned up against the boards. Jackson comes in for support, and he comes away with it. Gives it back to Nelson. Nelson looking to get it out and try and get everyone out for a line change as Wakely goes after it, but he's not enough as Haight picks it up, and he looks up ice. Haight up to Forster. Forster with the shot, and Verbetic gloves it down.
Good save there by Joe Verbetic, looking solid so far in this first period, making all 7 saves that have shot his way. Joe Verbetic looking to make a statement here as they're trying to clinch and secure his spot there going into the playoffs. We know that both Dom and Joe have looked good so far since Christmas break, and it's going to be really hard making Houlihan to pick which goaltender he wants to run with in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And I think right now the answer is Joe Verbetic for that. You go with a little bit more experience as the puck's sent in by Clark to Forster. Left for Cardwell. Cardwell gets it back to Clark, over to Allenson, back to Forster in the middle of the ice. Forster gets it back to Clark, who just sends it back to Forster. And now the shot coming from the point on the one-timer from Allenson, and it's out of play.
And Verbetic just saying, you guys go ahead, pass this all the way around. I'll just stay calmly back here in my net, get to watch that shot coming in from the top of the circle from Ty Forster, who's playing in his 6th game tonight since returning from the Phantom organization. And Verbetic just saying, I'll just put this out of play here and allow my teammates to get a little rest and maybe a line change to try and get some momentum going our way.
Yeah, Forster, pretty dangerous as you mentioned. He has 5 points in 4 games, 4 of those being goals. So he's going to be one to watch out for. And of course, a lot of people have these Colts team as the Central Division champs kind of coming into the year. And that's not the case now as the puck is up and into the Battalion bench and out of play. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit tough for them, although they are still in it, as we mentioned. But it'd be interesting to see what a full season of Ty Forster would have done for them.
Yeah, last time we saw a full season out of him, he picked up 80 points in that 18-19 season. And Forster picking up right where he left off after spending last year and the start of this season in the AHL. He's looked pretty good so far since coming back, picking up a hat trick last night in that game in the victory over the London Knights. So anytime you can beat those London Knights, you know how pesky they are, always dominate in the West.
Punting with the shot, and it's almost deflected into the net. And York now comes away with it. York back to the blue line. Shot sent in from Tiller. Shot is in, but it's blocked in front. And everyone loses a bit of sight of it, and so we're going to get another stoppage of play. But yeah, they can't let us have anything nice, eh? They couldn't have, London couldn't have helped us out the one time we wanted London to help us out.
Yeah, that would have helped the standings there. It would have given the North Bay Battalion an opportunity to maybe clinch the division here today if the Barrie Colts would have lost last night in regulation and the Sudbury Wolves find a way to beat the Mississauga Steelheads today. That's the other game we're watching closely as the Steelheads currently play host to the Sudbury Wolves.
Well, and of course, Sudbury they've been on a bit of a run themselves lately, clawing themselves back into playoff contention. As Punnett, they still have a lot to play with as Punnett loses the puck at the blue line. And they have beaten the Steelheads in recent memory as well.
Just a quick update, Aiden Pruder has the Steelheads on the board there in Mississauga as they have a 1-0 lead midway through the first period of play from the Paramount Fine Food Center in Mississauga, which that was where one of the spots you were at last weekend, Courtney? And not a bad building there for the Mississauga Steelheads.
No, it's really nice, actually. The only problem I have with it is it seems like they have the AC on full blast the whole entire time, so there's no heat in the building almost. So you're basically sitting there in your jacket the whole game being like, I can't tell if I'm at the Powassan Sportsplex or if I'm at, an igloo or something, as Battalion get it into the Colts zone and Winslow can't keep it at his blue line. Matthews trying to get it past him, but he can't, and now it's just pinned up along the penalty boxes. Finally, the puck squirts loose into the Battalion zone. and Nelson goes to pick it up. Nelson looking behind his net, gets it up ice to Coe at the far side half wall, and he tries to get it over to Jackson, but he skates right by it. Puck now in deep for the Colts, and it's pinned along the board as Matthews is there with it, but instead Nelson comes away with it. Jackson looking for some cross-ice options, but all he has is Coe right now, so he just decides to dump it, and Coe will chase after it as Lemieux gets to it first on the near side half wall. Puck now into the corner, and Coe picks it up, but he loses it as it's pinned there. And now the Battalion are digging away without it. It was the same with the Colts. Jackson ultimately coming away with it. Left for Russell with a shot. Blocked aside by Chartrand. Coe now over to Mathurin, and Mathurin with a shot, and he gets it out front to Jackson. Mathurin missed on the shot, but he was able to get Chartrand down and get it back behind him. And Kyle Jackson inching ever closer to the 30-goal plateau.
Yeah, Kyle Jackson picking up his 28th goal of the season. And a fortunate event there for Mathurin as he fans on that shot, regains the handle, and as Chartrand going to make that save, opens up the wickets, and Mathurin just sliding it between the legs as Jackson sitting at the corner of the post with that yawning cage waiting to be put in. Great job. Now, midway through this period, the Battalion now will have a 2-0 lead over the Barrie Colts.
Yeah, 9.5 minutes left in the first period. Shots on goal are 8-4 in favor of the Colts, though. And Podolou has it on the far side wall. Behind the net now, Tarasevic goes to pick it up. And it's left for him. And Podolou is dug out there by Tarasevic. And it's out front for Podolou! Michael Podolou! And within 20-some seconds, the Battalion make it 3-0.
Michael Podolou, 7th of this season. Great rookie campaign for Michael Podolou as he has extended this lead here to 3-0 as we're going to have a quick change in goaltending as Nolan Chartrand makes his way to the bench and Matteo Lalama getting ready to come in relief here. 10:38 played, and we're going to see a goaltending change for this Barrie Colts as Michael Podolou puts the Battalion up 3-0 to chase Chartrand from goal.
Chartrand had himself actually a pretty good OHL debut in this building a couple of weeks ago, and he was out of his net rather quickly, not waiting for Lalama to come out and help him out, or get him out of the net. So last time you and I saw him in action, Derek was in Barrie, and it was an 8-3 victory for the troops in that one. So with Matt Guzda, this is a very different Barrie Colts team. As PA announcer Brian Floyd is still announcing the Jackson goal, and we get a quick stoppage of play on the offside. And that'll be the halfway point of the period, of course, with our mid-period stoppage. So we'll send things over to Bob Cools, who will take you through what's coming up the rest of the period and the first intermission. Bob?
Well, coming up in the intermission, we'll find out more about noahstrong.ca. Donating organs, so important in our society, and we'll find out more information on that with someone from one of the Dugas family members will be with us. Look forward to that. And as for the first period, it's been North Bay's young guys that have stolen the show. Wakely with the early goal. Mathurin didn't give up on the play on the second effort. Got it to Jackson, and Podolou with the third goal. And Barrie played last night. I don't know. I don't think they had bus legs as they've actually outshot North Bay 8-5, but North Bay coming out very sharp this afternoon. And boys, this is when the fact that the Battalion had played a lot more games than other teams in the league, and they've had lots of time to rest and prepare, and we may be seeing some of that this afternoon. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Bob. We'll hear more from you during the first intermission. Just seeing Matteo Lalama come back in. He started 2 games against this North Bay Battalion, losing both of those, giving up 8 goals in those 2 contests. 571 goals against average and a 765 save percentage. Just taking a look at this Battalion lineup scoring. Each line has so far contributed with 1 goal so far in this evening's contest.
Yeah, remember back in December and January when we were crying for secondary scoring? Not so much anymore as there's a quick icing call now, 8:52 left in the first period. Not so much now anymore, and even without Kyle McDonald in the lineup, they're still rolling.
And that's the key. Kyle McDonald, as you mentioned, missing his second of a 5-game suspension. The hit in Mississauga went unnoticed without a penalty, but after review, he had been handed a 5-game suspension, so he'll miss 3 more games after tonight. He won't be able to return until the weekend of the 14th.
Of course. He'll be missing the big one against the Mississauga Steelheads on Thursday. But we'll have to see if the battalion can make hay without him. As plays back underway here at the Gardens with Wakely carrying it into the zone with a quick shot from Van Steensel. And it's going to go out and off the glass and all the way back out to the battalion zone. Ladd looking up ice for Van Steensel, who tries to chip it in, but it's just met by Brant Clark right at the red line almost. Clark turning it around, carries it into the battalion zone, leaves it for Forster. Forster gets it over to Cardwell, but he can't get a handle of it. And Mathern picks it up in his zone and gets it over to Ladd. Forster picking it back up. And it's over on the far side wall. Cardwell in the corner. And somehow rolls out front and gets in behind Verbetic. It's now 3-1 Barrie on the strangest looking goal I have ever seen.
Ethan Cardwell just throwing it on net from the corner where the troops come out for the change. And that's going to be Cardwell's 21st of the season here, as Verbetic not expecting it, along with everyone else in this building. As he goes down into his butterfly, it just ricochets off his pad and in behind the net, catching everyone off guard, including the referee, as he was a little late signaling it. But it's now 3-1 here, North Bay Battalion lead, 8 minutes left to go in this first period of play.
Yeah, I don't think anyone believed that it went in the net except for the Colts. Everyone was just kind of like, what? That's the strangest goal, like I said, I've seen in a long time. And we've seen a few strange ones here this year as the battalion get back underway with puck possession off the face-off in the neutral zone. Russell gets it in deep, and it's left for Coe. And he leaves it for Jackson. Jackson leaves it at the far side half wall. It's left for Russell. And Nelson with the far shot in, but it's past Lama's net. Coe picks it up in the corner. And Jackson brings down his man as he goes after it. And Grizzoli whacking away at him as well. Puck now left for Jodwin. Jodwin gets it up ice for York, but it skips by everyone, and Nelson has to go and get it. Coe now leaves it in the neutral zone for Jackson. Jackson going in, 1-on-4, and of course he loses the puck in that odds. Of course, Coe bats it in from the blue line back in, and it's Punnett who picks it up and goes behind his net. Punnett with pressure from Jackson gets it over to his D partner, and it's all the way back up into the neutral zone for Winslow. Winslow looks to dump it in and rim it around for Tarasevich to go after. Tarasevich first one on it, but he loses the possession of the puck in the corner. Punnett now comes through the slot zone and picks it up into the neutral zone. Punnett just dumps it on in. Again, the Powassan product, so lots of people here from Powassan coming to see Connor Punnett play some hockey. And Podolou carries it up through the neutral zone. Left for Petrov, and they're going to call that offside, which was a very close call, but I think the right one as well. And now we get some words from Punnett and Petrov as there's 2 versus 22 in the corner.
Yeah, Punnett not taking exception there as Petrov giving that little pass a little late after the whistle here, but that was the right call there. Offside for the North Bay Battalion. And you can't take this Barrie Colts team lightly. They got a lot of firepower. They've got 5 guys with more than 20 goals on the season. You got to keep your foot on the gas if you want to try and extend this lead here more late in this first period of play.
Yeah, not to be outdone, the battalion have 4 30-goal scorers. Of course, only 3 of them in the lineup here tonight, but Jackson not too far away as the puck rolls in on Verbetic, and he covers it up. But yeah, both these teams have a lot of firepower for sure. It's going to come down to which D only buckles and doesn't break at the end of this one.
And that's key for this North Bay Battalion team. You know you got out to a quick start, scoring 3 goals on 5 shots, but it's junior hockey, and a lot of goals can be scored. We've seen the battalion put 8 up against this Barrie Colts team twice this season, and the Colts have responded a couple times with 5 or more themselves.
Lots of firepower for sure. And they meet up again next Saturday as the battalion get it into the zone, and Petrov takes the shot. It's off the leg of Podolou and wide. Back over to the blue line for Christopoulos, who dumps it in for Tarasevich, who tries the wraparound. But Lama stands tall on that one. Puck now back out to the neutral zone as Christopoulos backhands it back into the Colts zone, and Clark's going to go after it. Clark, of course, a top 5 draft pick in last year's NHL draft, so he's just oozing with talent. I wonder if he's going to get another look at the World Juniors team after being left off it last time. But now with it coming back up in August, we'll have to see what happens as the puck's back into the battalion zone. Jelsma now dumps it in, and it's wide of the net. Lucan picks it up. Lucan looking up ice, and it's going to get out to Akey. Akey in his own zone gets it across to Lemieux. Lemieux looking for some options as he's harassed by Van Steensel. Akey gets it up to Tabak, and Tabak just kicks it into the battalion zone, and Winslow skates after it. Winslow pinned up in the near side corner. loses it to Tabak, and some Colts come in to help out. Arnsby now gets it out front, but there's nobody there. And instead, Van Steensel is able to block it with a stick, a shot from the point, and he's off into the neutral zone. Van Steensel with some speed. Can't get it past Matthews. McDonald now, I should say. McDonald now stripped of the puck by Wakely, and the two of them go down in the Battalion zone. Akey taken to the boards by Russell. And the Colts are just content to dump it back in, and it's behind Verbetik's net, who comes out to play it. Nelson looking up ice with a quick pass. Gets it to Russell, who just touches it in. And it's off the referee and into the corner. Cardwell gets it up through the neutral zone. Forster taken down by Nelson. You'll love to see that. And Forster's not too happy about it himself as he looked to have a few words with the youngster. Hallinson over to Clark. Clark looking up ice. Leaves it for Forster. Forster chips it in. Nelson chases after it as Cardwell goes after him, but the two decide not to. Left for Haight. And Haight loses the puck on a nice little touch by Jackson. Jackson leaving it for Russell. Russell left it for Coe. Coe looks to get around, and he takes the good shot and chance in close. And closing the 5-hole was Lalama. Nelson back to Mathurin. Mathurin looking up ice, gets it to Jackson, and it's too far out of the reach of Coe as he tries to get it to him, and Punnett picks it up in his own zone. Back into the Battalion zone, Mathurin looking up ice, gives it away to Cardwell, leaving it for Forster, and the shot comes in, but Mathurin blocks it. And Seema's away with it. Seema looking up ice. He's taking it to the boards, and Romani's going to have to chase after it after Seema dumped it in. Punnett picking up in his own corner. Gets it up to the blue line, but Mathurin's there to stop it. Mathurin dumps it back in. And Outwater's going to be the first one there as he dumps it back to Ladd. Ladd tries to shoot it, but it's fanned on, and instead Mathurin's going to be back. First one in the neutral zone, but Forster was chasing after it. Now Forster eventually picks it up, and it's left for Outwater, who loses it to Punnett. Punnett with the shot, high and wide over the net with 3:14 left in the first period. And we're going to have another stoppage in play. Shots that are in favor of the Colts, 9-7.
Good pushback there from the North Bay Battalion after giving up that first goal to Cardwell on that weird bounce, but good opportunity there by Brandon Coe as he uses that toe drag to get around the defender. Tries to go 5-hole on Lalama, but unfortunately that was closed up quickly, and we still have 3-1 the score here with 3:14 remaining in this first period of play. Face-off coming to the glove-hand side of Joe Verbetik in the Battalion territory.
Colts winning the draw, back to Akey at the point, and Akey loses the handle of it to Petrov. Good active stick by Petrov, who leaves it for Podolou. Podolou loves victimizing these Colts. We've seen him score a couple of times against Barrie, and he did here tonight as Petrov with the sharp angle shot misses the net. Christopoulos now missing it from the point, but it comes around to Petrov. Petrov leaving it back for Tarasevic. Tarasevic leaving it for Lukin. It's just a game of, oh, okay, well, I'll carry it a couple of feet, and then we'll leave it for you. As now it's behind the Colts zone, or net, and Akey's the first to it. Up to Jodwin. Colts go up ice with it, and it's into the Battalion zone, but no further. Lukin up to Podolou. Podolou dumps it in for Clark, and Clark gets it up to Jodwin. Jodwin now carrying it behind his net past Clark. And he tries to chip it up ice, but Arnsby with a good stick leaves it, and Tarasevic leaves it out for Winslow. Winslow passing it off to Van Steensel. Van Steensel tries to get it in deep, but he can't get it past Brant Clark, and Clark's carrying it up through the neutral zone. Clark skating around everybody, but he loses the handle of it in the corner, and Arnsby comes in with a big hit and leaves it back for Allenson. Allenson losing the puck, and it's out to the neutral zone. Fans not liking what they're seeing on the ice right now as Arnsby takes down Clark, and it looks like the first penalty of the game is going to go against the Troops with 1:48 left in the first period.
Arnsby taking Clark down, getting that penalty there called, but the fans not happy. It's just moments before that Niennes took down one of the North Bay Battalion players without a call being called, but Arnsby goes back, and we'll get 2 minutes there for cross-checking as he's going to go to the box to serve 2 or less with 1:48 remaining in this first period of play. The Barrie Colts come in with the 7th best power play in the OHL. 24% they've been able to score on of their opportunities. Meanwhile, the Battalion come in 8th in the penalty kill, killing off 80.5% of their opportunities they've given up.
Yeah, I don't I'm shocked it's only 2 because it looked like he drew blood on Clark, but yeah, only 2 minutes in the box with Lemieux losing it. And the puck going back around, and Russell trying to get it out of the zone. Russell losing it in the neutral zone, but he carries it out. And he carries it into the neutral, or into the slot area, and he gets the shot away on the Llama. Looked like Russell had a whole bunch of nothing going for him, but instead he got a pretty good shorthanded opportunity. Now the Colts turn around with 1:19 left in the period. Haight now into the Battalion zone. Haight looking at his options. Gets it back to the blue line for Lemieux, over to Akey. Akey back to Lemieux. Back to Akey. They're just playing pitch and catch like Thomas Caberlet and Brian McCabe back in the day. Back to Lemieux with a shot, but it's blocked in front, and Tarasevic gets a hold of it and sends it the length of the ice. And the Llama comes out of his crease to play the puck. 53 seconds left on the clock. Lemieux behind his net now. And the Battalion are going to be content just to let him kind of waste some time. He leaves it for Allenson. Allenson carries it up. Coe kind of lets him go by at the blue line. But instead it's into the Battalion zone, and Mathern goes after it with Forster. Forster trying to get past Mathern, but he can't. And the puck now is pinned into the boards with 28 seconds left. Nelson with a burst of speed gets across ice with it, and he ends up sending it down the ice for the Llama to go and play it. Llama leaving it for Clark. Clark looking awfully fine after that big hit from Arnsby. He rims it around, and McDonald now with it. He leaves it for Mathern. Mathern getting into it with Allenson behind the net, and Mathern sends it out, but Clark with a good stop, or so I thought, at the blue line. That's going to go the length of the ice, and that's going to do it for the first period here. The Battalion come away with a 3-1 lead. Shots are tied 9-9, and there's still 12 seconds left on the clock to start, or on the power play to start the second period, Derek.
Good start of this game as the Battalion scored 3 goals in just over 10 minutes of play, taking that early 3-0 lead. But Cardwell responded one late here in the first period of play, and we're 3-1 North Bay Battalion lead through 20 minutes of play. Let's welcome in now Bob Coles to the first intermission.
Thank you very much. Very entertaining start to this one for the Battalion as they, as you say, raced a 3-0 lead, and it was their young guys who were really responsible. Dallin Wakely opened the scoring. Nice rush by Tanias Mathern. Nice pass to Kyle Jackson to make it 2-0. Then Michael Potaloo made it 3-0. It was a strange goal by Barrie from the corner. Somehow got by Joe Verbetic as to make it 3-1, and just a few seconds left in the penalty for North Bay to kill as the second period begins. So it's 3-1 after 1, and we're going to bring in Dave Dugas, who's well known. Well, if you've ever been to a certain North Bay establishment, you've met Dave. I know that. Of course, Eastside Mario's on Lakeshore Drive. And Dave, that's not why you're here today, but how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
How's the family? Good?
Yes, we're doing really well, thanks.
Okay, let's talk about today. You got that green shirt on. We've been mentioning noahstrong.ca. Tell us about the what partnership your family's involved with now.
Yeah, so the idea of today's event is to bring awareness to organ donation. Noah was an organ donor and went on to help 7 lives. So it's kind of just one of those things that's near and dear to us. And so we're here today. We handed out over 100 green shirts, and we're encouraging people to wear those green shirts on Thursday, which is the National Green Shirt Day.
And obviously, this story obviously close to home, but I think in North Bay, everyone's been, and around the world as well, as when they first heard Noah's story, they're amazed by the young man, and it really says a lot about him that, you know, that story is continuing to be upfront with people.
Yeah, and I guess what's rather fitting about about us being here today to help promote it is that Noah's story really started in the hockey world, right? And that's kind of just where it started to grow from there. And so we're thankful that the amount of support we've had locally here, and then really beyond that from the hockey world, it's been pretty overwhelming for us, and even the support continues to this day. Looking around the arena and seeing all the Noah Strong support and the Noah Strong T-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that. So it's pretty heartwarming for us, for sure.
And I know I've always believed that it just takes a couple of minutes, whether it's you're on your, when you get your driver's license renewed, or just fill out that little check mark on the form, and you've taken care of it, and it's just something really small, but it can become so big for someone else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when even with Noah's story, it was a pretty difficult decision for us, of course, given what we were going through at the time. But for us to know that he went on to help enrich and save 7 lives, is one of the few good things that came out of it. And we've actually got it set up through our Noah Strong website. So if you go to noahstrong.ca, it's very easy to just click on the tab at the top of the page, Be a Donor, and that takes you right to the Service Ontario site. And it's one of those things, a lot of people support organ donation but don't really know whether or not they're actually signed on to be a donor. So it's an easy way for people to just go and check to see if they are in fact a donor, and if they want to, they can go ahead and consent if they're not. So
one of the things I noticed was that 90% of Ontarians support organ donation as a thing to do to benefit someone later in life, but only 35% are actually registered. And so when it gets to that moment, it's important that everything is clear, right?
Yeah, and that's really a big part of our initiative, right? Is to it's great that so many people are in support of it, but one of our kind of mandates, I guess, is to encourage people to actually go on and check to ensure that they are signed up to be a donor, and then if they find out that they aren't, it's very quick and painless to do so. And we've actually had some friends of ours that they thought they were a donor, and they went onto the site and they checked to find out that they actually weren't signed up, and so it was a good thing that they did, and they went ahead and consented. So yeah.
Anything else you want to add about noahstrong.ca or the Green Shirt Day today that people should know about?
Yeah, I mean, just again, I guess just encouraging people. I mean, it doesn't have to be the green shirt that we handed out today. The idea of Thursday is just to help create awareness about Green Shirt Day. We've been in touch with the Boulay family, who have become a very big part of Green Shirt Day, and so they've been very, very supportive, and they've kind of helped us basically help facilitate this event for us today. And so we thankfully got the shirts in time, and we're excited to be here, and we're hoping to see a lot of people wearing their green shirts on Thursday.
Well, let's look forward to that, and continue to pay it forward to help people in the future. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks for having me.
Dave Dugas of the Noah Strong campaign, noahstrong.ca. Again, that address, so important, and thanks for dropping by, Dave, and best of luck to just a wonderful family of making such a difference in our community. And Derek, Courtney, we wanted to, in setting up this YouTube channel, really to highlight Noah Strong and the campaign that came after his passing. And we can see that his story is sending such a positive message about just a little step. Just do what you can, donate your organs after your passing, but take the steps now so it's not too late when your family has to make that decision.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that is until actually January 2021, I wasn't an organ donor myself, because for most of my youth I was kind of, like, same thing about cremation, like, you're not here anymore, so you're not feeling it, but I always had this idea of, like, why would I want to put myself through cremation, or why would I want to have someone rooting around for my organs? It was just this weird feeling. But then I was like, it just dawned on me one day that, unfortunately, if you're not here anymore, you're not going to know, so why not try and benefit other people, right? And so I've really done a 180 on cremation and organ donation in my life in the last couple of years. So I think yeah, like it's very easy. I did it, like I said, a year and a half ago. It's a really easy process. Although when they told me the other day when I went to go visit them at Eastside to talk about this, they told me, yeah, some people aren't even registered when they think they are. And I was like, gee, maybe I should double check and make sure that I am. But everything's good to go. I was registered in January. So, and that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of, if you're, like, I don't want to be morbid, but if you're not using it anymore, why not give it to someone who might need it, right, Derek?
Yeah, exactly. I have the same thoughts. And you know what? If I can help somebody else, why not be able to do that? You might be able to extend somebody's life. And I know it's a difficult decision that Dave and Jody had to do in order to help those 700 other individuals through the passing of Noah. But when you think about it, that he was able to help 7 other people live a better life in something that he really had no control over. Like, what a better feeling than just knowing that he had his hand in helping 7 other individuals.
Well, I know in hearing the story of Noah, it was always interesting, why this young boy inspired his teammates, inspired his parents, inspired the community. And knowing his story, it came honestly. He was just one of those kids that did everything the right way. And unfortunately his passing was coming way too soon, and to see his family and what they've done, making a positive out of this tragic event, it says all you have to know about this family. And they're just great people, and they're making a difference for many. But 7 people for one person, that's a pretty good fraction situation, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know what? I never, my first time really talking to them was at that game you and I were at, Bob, where they retired his jersey and they kind of had the public memorial for Noah. And I had interviewed them for Bay Today at the time, and then I reached out to them via the Frontline podcast email. The word was escaping me. I couldn't think of the simplest term right now. And I reached out to them shortly after about partnering with them and having them, a part of this broadcast in some way. And they are just really down to earth, really great people. We've seen East Sides, like when the Lancelot went through their quarantine last year, East Side's brought them over meals and stuff when the whole apartment building next to them. They're just really good people that are great to partner with. And we told them right off the hop, look, we're not looking for any money. We just want to get your word out there. We just want to share the word that is the Noah Strong campaign. And if it's through our broadcast, if it's through any means that we can to kind of amplify your voice, we're going to try and do that. And they've been the greatest to deal with and easiest and nicest people. And considering what happened only coming up a year and a half ago, really what happened to them, to have them galvanized in this fight and turn things around so quickly is nothing short of remarkable.
And it just continues on. And just to put a final statement, is just on Thursday to remember to wear your green shirts in honor of organ and donor tissues. That's this Thursday, Green Shirt Day. Show your support to the community and the Great Noah Strong campaign.
Okay, guys, thank you. We'll get Courtney can get ready for the second period, and we'll just run through the OHL scoreboard right now. Peterborough is trailing Hamilton 2-0. Mason McTavish, a goal against his former mates. Sudbury and Mississauga, 2-0 Steelheads again. A Mississauga loss and a North Bay win today would eliminate the Steelheads from the division title, but Mississauga up 2-0 in that one. Ottawa and Niagara, 1-0 for the Ice Dogs. Michaud with the goal for Niagara. We'll have our period stats in a moment. Kitchener and Erie, 1-0 Erie. Sarnia and the Sioux been postponed. And Guelph and Saginaw, 5:30 start in that one. It was all North Bay early in this one as they scored the first 3 goals. The shots in the period were 9-9. 0 for 1 on the power play for Barrie. North Bay, no power play chances. Faceoffs won 13-8 for Barrie. Wakely opened the scoring as 16th from Owen Van Steensel and Liam Arnsby at 105. Kyle Jackson's 28, so North Bay just 2 goals away from 5 30-goal scores. Mathern and Brandon Coe with his 95th point of the year at 10-13. By the way, the all-time record for a North Bay Battalion player in points, Justin Brazo, 113. If you're interested, Michael Potalou's 10th from Nikita Tarasevich at 10:38. Then Barrie got on the board in the strangest of goals. Ethan Cardwell's 21st from Nathan Allenson and Tyson Forster at 12 minutes. The only penalty, Liam Arnsby for cross-checking at 18-12. So 1:48 has been served, 12 seconds left when they start the second period. And our next broadcast will be Thursday night against Mississauga. And we'll have it for you on our game day broadcast at 6:50. And then the Battalion other game of the week will be Saturday night in Barrie, final game between the Colts and the Troops this year at the Saddle-On Arena, Saturday night at 7:30. So, Derek, let's talk about what you saw in the first period and what you're looking for in the second.
I really like the speed of that first period. A lot of speed going both ways. Not really much offensive zone time for the North Bay Battalion. They seem to score their goals quickly on entries, and unfortunately for Bertrand, wasn't able to get much help from his defensive, as a couple of those goals left all alone in front, Wakely and Russell, in which Chartrand had no opportunity with. Lalama came in there after that third goal, is able to shut things down, but North Bay able to roll all four of their lines, get everyone in that first period of play. That's been something we've talked about a lot here, is Oulahan being able to roll those four lines, 60, and able to get everyone in that game, and that's going to pay off in the long run. When you play those full 60-minute games, you can use everyone and put everyone out whenever on that ice to get some more ice time.
One thing I noticed, there seems to be a little electricity in the air in the building. People are more, the fans are more intense. It just seems to have that playoff vibe. And we're seeing a lot more hitting. Connor Punnett of Powassan's in a bad mood. He's trying to hit anything green that moves. I'm sure they hit by Arnsby on Clark didn't go over very well in the Barrie locker room. So there does seem to have that playoff bite to this game, doesn't it?
It does, and when we think about a physical game and lots of big hits, it's not like how we used to see every shift being a hit after a hit after a hit. It's just the timing of those hits and who they are, and just the pace of the play in general has just been so playoff-like. Everyone not giving any inch of the ice away, making the other team earn every single inch, and just making it difficult for the other team to play. And that's what we've seen here. Not only are the players getting ready for playoff time, but also the seventh man getting ready for playoff time to try and help push the Battalion as far as they can through the playoffs.
Yeah, Barrie will have 7 games left in the regular season. In the next 2 weeks, they play 4 times in the next 7 days after today. So a busy week ahead for Barrie. North Bay just has 2 games, as we mentioned, Thursday night at home against Mississauga and a Saturday night road game in Barrie. And in the last week, the Battalion play Oshawa twice and Sudbury, their final visit to Sudbury this season. So we should have a dandy of an interesting second period as these two rivals continue to fight for points. 3-1. North Bay after 1. And in our second intermission, by the way, we'll have a little hockey roundtable. We'll talk Voodoos, we'll talk NOHA, and we'll talk Battalion. Boys?
Thanks a lot, Bob. Looking forward to talking to you during that second intermission. Just as things get ready here for this second period, the North Bay Battalion will still be having 12 seconds left to kill off on that 2-minute penalty to Liam Arnsby as he comes to the penalty box to get ready for this second period. Barrie Colts will have an opportunity to try and cut back into this 2-goal lead. My message, if I'm Ryan Oulahan, is keep doing what we did in that first period. Keep the foot on the gas, and let's try and get a couple more here. Don't look at that score and just say, look, we're up by 2 and get comfortable. You got to keep going and push, push, push. You can never have enough when you're taking on this Barrie Colts team. Now for the second period action, let's welcome back Courtney Kenny for the call.
Thank you very much, Derek, and thank you very much, Bob, as well, for hosting the intermission show, and of course Dave Dugas for coming up here to talk about Noah Strong. And we're going to get underway here. Just kidding. It looked like they were ready, and now finally they're ready, and the puck gets dropped down as the Colts now are going from right to left in their road whites, and the Battalion are going left to right in their home greens. With 3 seconds left on that penalty, with a quick shot from Clark, from Allenson as they play pitch and catch, and it goes wide as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Arnsby now up to Van Steensel, who loses the puck and then falls over in the Colts zone, and they went offside, so he couldn't get any troops to come with him. Allenson looking up ice, carries it through the neutral zone, Leaves it for Clark. Clark leaves it for nobody. A nice little drop pass that Kyle Jackson just kind of skates through and says, okay, I guess I'm going to take this then. Over in the far side corner for Mathern. He's looking up ice, and it's for Van Steensel. Van Steensel with the far shot out, and Lalama with his glove stops play with only 46 seconds played in the period.
Good job there by the Battalion settling down after that quick power play. 12 seconds the Barrie Colts had. They got a quick shot off of the stick of Forrester, but Verbetic just blocking that away and giving the Battalion an opportunity to try and get the puck deep into the territory.
Akey with it on the far side corner in his zone. Gets around to Jelsma. Jelsma gets it up ice, and Nelson's going to chase after it, but he leaves it for Winslow, who's being pestered by McDonald. Winslow gets it in the corner, drops it back, and Nelson picks it up in the far side corner now. Bit of a go troops go chant here to start the second period. So we're now a minute in, and Jackson looks up ice. He fans on the pass, but Nelson's there to pick it up quickly and leave it for Russell. Russell coming in, brings it in the near side corner. He skates it behind the net. Skating all the way around as Lemieux tries to get rid of him, but he can't. And it's sent back into the near side corner, and Coe picks it up. Coe switching positions with Nelson, leaves it for Nelly. Nelson out front. And he can't quite get it as he tried a nice little move, but he can't get the shot away. Winslow back to Coe. Coe looking up ice. Back to the point. He leaves it at the half wall. Sends it back for Jackson, and then loses the control, and Christopoulos comes in and stops it from being knocked out of the zone. Coe skating cross ice, picks it up. And he passes it off to Christopoulos. It's back out to the neutral zone, and the troops have to regroup. Akey has Lemieux just kind of fallen over his feet on that pesky face-off dot in his own zone. And it's up to Jodwin. Jodwin to Cardwell. Cardwell in the Battalion zone with it. On the near side half wall, gets it back to Tiller. Tiller with the shot in a quick little tip, and it looked like Verbetic had missed it, but instead he gloved it. So Big Joe coming up big on that one.
Good job by Joe Verbetic following that right into that glove, even past that tip. When you keep that glove out in front of you and watch it all the way in, you can make those little late adjustments there, as Verbetic did to hold on to that.
Battalion win the face-off, but there's a quick shot off the face-off. And Podolou through the neutral zone with Tarasevic. Leaving it for Tarasevic, who then gets it back to Podolou, who tries to shoot it from the corner, but it misses the net. Tarasevic taken to the corner, and is left for Podolou. Now battling just behind the net. And the Battalion get it up into the blue line. Lukin dumps it back in. Tiller with it, loses it to Petrov. Petrov out front to Tarasevic, who can't get a good handle on it. Tarasevic out front for Podolou, tries to tip it on net, but it goes wide. And the referee falling, so a lot of problems in the Colts zone in this period so far. People are just falling all over themselves as Punnett tries to get it up, but instead Lukin stands tall at his blue line and tries to get it out, but instead a Barrie Colts player hits it, so it's offside, so we're going to have another face-off stoppage.
Cardwell not happy with that offside call, saying that the Battalion player touched it, but still he went offside, not winning that argument. The face-off coming right in front of the Barrie Colts bench here with just 3:10 gone here in the second period. Still Battalion lead 3-1.
Allenson leaves it back for Clark. Clark looking up ice, and Niendes. He carries it over the zone. He tries to take the shot, and it's out front, but instead the Battalion regroup. Outwater tried to get it out to Sema, but it hit a skate in front, and instead the Colts regain possession. Clark in his zone carries it up ice. Clark decides to dump it in. Verbetic tries to stop it up, but it goes past him. Sema now tries to get up out of his zone. He can't quite clear it out, and it's back behind Verbetic's net. Verbetic now playing it, and it gets up to the blue line for Outwater. And Outwater tries to get it up to Sema, who loses the handle on it, and Matthews picks it up. Matthews, of course, not of the Austin variety, but still a good, useful player for the Colts. He gets it in deep, and instead it comes back out for Clark to play. And Allenson picks it up at his blue line. Allenson looking cross ice for Forster, and it's for Allenson now. Allenson deep in his zone. Gets it back to Lemieux. Lemieux with the shot, and Verbetic stands tall. Mathurin in the corner, losing the handle of it. It's back to Lemieux at the point. Lemieux looking to shoot it, and he does, and it's tipped up, and Verbetic just grabs it with the glove and says, all right, stoppage of playtime.
Another little stop there as Verbetic able to find the handle of this. Good test here for the North Bay Battalion defense squad, getting hemmed in their own zone there for the last minute and a little bit. But fortunately for them, not able to give up any scoring chances as the Barrie Colts were just passing the puck around, and Verbetic making that great sliding save to hold on to it for a whistle here. 15:34 left in this middle frame.
Yeah, Battalion hemmed in their zone a little bit on this period, but Van Steensel gets it the length of the ice. Akey the first one to pick it up, and it's left for Forster as Arnsby, the Bulldog, runs into him. Wakely trying to get it up to Arnsby, but he loses it to Forster, who then Wakely then strips the puck from Forster again. Lots of good tests here for the Battalion youth against a guy like Forster. To back, over to Akey. Akey leaving it for Forster at the blue line. Forster gets across ice to Tabac. Tabac in the corner, tries to get out front, but it hits Arnsby's skate and goes into the corner. Arnsby looking up ice. He tries to chip it up for Van Steensel, and Van Steensel chases after it. No icing on it as Van Steensel's the first one in the Colts zone. Haight now gets the puck, pokes it away, but in comes Jackson. Jackson gets it out front, and instead the Colts come away with it. Jackson skating through the neutral zone. Chips it in for Coe. Coe coming in. Coe with the shot! The Brandon Coe show continues as that puck was in and out of the net really quick. And it was almost like the last goal where we were like, did it go in or not? But the referee signaled it's a good goal and the light came on, Derek.
Brandon Coe tickles the twine for his 34th of the season here. Nice little pass there by Kyle Jackson. A little backhand sauce just setting up Brandon Coe, able to skate into it, using his speed, gets past the defender and making no mistake, tucking that in the top corner over the glove hand of Lullama. Brandon Coe gives the Battalion back their 3-goal lead.
Coe, that's 2 points in the game now, is now up to 213 as he closes in for number 7th on the list of Luke Lyons, who has 215 points of Battalion all-time season. So Coe definitely doing his part here this evening. And a shot coming in from the blue line from the Colts, from Clark, and Verbetic's just going to glove that one down as well and slow things down.
And just when you thought the Barrie Colts seemed to be picking up some momentum, getting some zone time, the North Bay Battalion come back with that quick goal. That was only their second shot of the period, but Brandon Coe made no mistake there, putting it upstairs. And now a 3-goal lead again. It's going to see, can the Battalion try and damper the pushback of the Barrie Colts here?
Have a question for you at the next stoppage and play, Derek, about that. As the puck comes in from Allenson at the blue line, it goes wide of the net. Puck now left for Russell in front of his net. Russell looking up ice, but instead he's going to have to retreat and go back into his corner. Hustle over to Ladd, and Russell hustles on up the ice. Ladd looking up ice for Russell, and he just gets a piece of it, and it goes into the Colts corner. Russell now skating it around. Looks back into the corner for Jackson. Jackson gets it back to Mathurin. Mathurin back to Coe. Coe gets it out front, but it's just batted away and all the way down the Battalion zone. Verbetic stopping it up. Looks up ice, but instead it hits Ladd's shin. And it goes back into the Battalion zone, but Ladd carries it up to the neutral zone. Jodoin now coming in. Jodoin tries to get it out front, and he does for Cardwell. What a save by Verbetic. In the corner now is Russell. Russell just dumping it down to the neutral zone, and Tarasevich goes to pick it up, which he does. Tarasevich looking for some options, but he can't quite get it out front. And Punnett comes away with it. Cardwell skates it in quickly into the Battalion zone. He loses the handle of it to Christopoulos, who almost loses it right back. Petrov leaving it for Podolou. Podolou carrying it up. Already a goal scorer in this game. Takes a sharp angle shot. Is stopped by Lalama. And now the Colts turning things around. Cardwell tries to get over his blue line. He does. But it's all the way down to the Battalion zone for Christopoulos. Tarasevich looking cross ice for Petrov. Petrov looking out front for Podolou, who almost tried to kick it in, but he missed the puck instead. Jodoin now tries to get it up as York chases after it. Lukin and him collide, and the puck goes up on the glass. Lukin looking up ice, and his pass misses everybody. And we're going to get icing here with 12:15 left. And I was going to ask you, Derek, how many times this year have we seen it where the Battalion has severely outshot their opponent and it's like a 3-1 game or something, right? But the Battalion are getting outshot and they go and score 4 goals on 12 shots. You know, it's funny how their shooting percentages works.
Yeah, I know we talked. I can't give you the exact number, but I remember that time we were in Barrie, and in those 8 goals, they were almost a 50% shooting team.
Yeah, it was wild in that game. Wild, absolutely wild. And Potelou scoring his first off of that nice, like I mentioned earlier, as we get another quick shot in on Verbetic and stoppage and play. But Potelou scored his first on that penalty shot that we were there for. Like I mentioned earlier in the game, he likes to victimize these Colts a little bit.
Yeah, with that goal in the first period, that was his 3rd goal against this Barrie Colts team. But you think of victimizing, Wakely now has 5 goals against this Barrie Colts team in 9 games. So those 2 youngsters really enjoy playing against this Barrie Colts team.
Hey, I'll take it. And we've argued before that, you know, the Colts may be a bigger rival than the Sudbury Wolves. So if you're scoring a combined 8 goals between those 2 youngsters against this Colts team, they're going to be dangerous in this rivalry the next couple of years. With a quick shot out front from Sema. Now Lama stopping the puck, and we'll get another stoppage to play with 11:15 left in the second.
And really, the only player with more goals than Wakely against this Barrie Colts team is Matvey Petrov. He has scored 7 goals in the previous 8 games, unable to find the score sheet yet tonight. But just put that in perspective, Wakely with 5 against this Barrie Colts team. When you can score that much against a rivalry such as the Barrie Colts that is going to be there for numerous years, always good for a kid in his rookie season to be that productive.
Absolutely. It'll be fun watching the Battalion and Colts play in the next couple of years. As the puck is off Wakely's skate and over the glass, and we'll have another stoppage in play. So after a quick start to this period, things are just grinding to a halt here.
Yeah, another stoppage of play here, offside the call. But what I really like is I like the play of this line of Van Steenstall, Arnsby, and Wakely. They're getting out there against that top line of Forrester, Haight, and Tabak, and they've been able to shut that whole line down so far in the first period and a half, basically.
Yeah, neither of them have looked out of place against Forster at all, which coming into this game would have had to have been a bit of a concern as the puck's back into the Battalion zone. Akey losing it at the blue line. Coming away with it is Jelsma. Shot in for Forster, or I should say Haight. That was Haight, not Jelsma. Up to Forster, who's just being harassed by Arnsby. And Lemieux gets it across ice to Akey. Forster now picks it up. He gets it back out to the blue line for Lemieux. Lemieux takes the shot, but is blocked by Wakely. And Arnsby just chips it up and out into the neutral zone for the Battalion to go and regroup a little bit. Haight tips it in. Forster goes after it as Verbetic plays it behind his net. Back up to the far side half wall. And Arnsby goes after it. Arnsby coming out with the puck. Looking up ice. He has Russell up there, but instead they decide to go for the kick plate option. And it's going to go for icing instead, as Clark was a half a step ahead of Russell. But how many times this year have we seen that kick plate come into play?
Especially here in Memorial Gardens. We know how lively it is here. I remember one time there that one goal we talked about, Brandon Coe being set in there by Russell off of that kick plate on a breakaway. It's a good thing you can use here, but it's one you got to try out in all arenas now without that hybrid icing. It's something that could be in your playbook into playoff time.
Absolutely, and I mean, we even saw it at the U16 Trappers game with Caleb Dawson scoring a nice goal off that as well. As Coe gets it up, and it's into the Colts zone again. Clark leaves it for Allenson. Allenson skates it around his net, and he carries the puck up. He tries to chip it out, but it's left for Russell. Russell over to Jackson, and Russell gets it back in. He tries to shoot it, but Clark stops it up. Jelsma gets it up ice, and he picks it back up in the Battalion zone. Jelsma looking cross ice, but instead he can't get a hold of it. And it's left for Jackson. Jackson just stick handling his way out of the zone against McDonald. And then he loses the handle of it, and Punnett picks it up in his own zone. Punnett looking up ice for Clark. And he loses it to Coe. Coe over to Jackson. Jackson losing the handle on it a little bit as he tries to get it to Nelson. And Nelson can't bat it out of the air. Winslow with it in the neutral zone. He spins and turns around quickly and gains the Colts zone. Sends it in for Clark. Clark looking up ice. He loses the handle of it to Petrov. Petrov out front to Tarasevic, who misses the net. Tarasevic just gets it up and high over the net. And now the puck is on the far side wall and it's pinned there. 9:25 now left in the second period. We're getting close to hearing from Mr. Bob Coles as the puck is dumped into the Battalion zone. York goes after it with Petrov. York falls down and Christopoulos comes in to help. Cardwell now looking to shoot it, but he's blocked by Potaloo. And Tiller will have to chase after it as the puck's all the way back down to the Colts zone. Chipping it off the glass for York. He leaves it for Cardwell. Cardwell looks to take the shot. It's blocked by Lucan. Lucan didn't know where it went, so the puck's bouncing all over in the slot. Christopoulos now kicking it out. Back into the corner. Back up for Tiller. Tiller over to Punnett. Back to Tiller. Tiller looking up ice. He decides to dump it in, and it goes round the end boards and right back out to the blue line, and the Battalion get it out again. Potaloo looking up ice for Petrov, who leaves it for Potaloo. Left for Tarasevic. Tarasevic shoots the shot, and Lalama gets a glove on it. And we have a couple of little words after the play, but it'll bring us to our mid-period break. And here's Mr. Bob Coles to give you a heads up as to what's coming in the second intermission.
Well, coming up in the second intermission, we'll do a hockey roundtable. A lot of things to talk about lately, including the North Bay Battalion, the first round playoff series coming up for the Powassan Voodoos as they play Hearst. Courtney will give us the lowdown on that. And Derek will talk NOHA and how the team did at the OHL Cup, which is wrapping up this weekend. So that's some of the issues. As for the second period, big goal for Brandon Coe. Second point of the night, so he's just 4 points away from 100. Would be a great milestone for him in his final season with the Battalion, really solidifying North Bay's lead. And it's been an even game. I mean, North Bay not dominating, but the difference, I think, has been the goaltending. Barrie hasn't had that big save yet, and Joe Verbettick's been very solid in the North Bay and net, stopping 15 shots. So good start for the troops halfway through this one.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Looking forward to talking hockey with you during the second intermission. Yeah, you talk about goaltending, 15 saves for Joe Verbettick. Lala making 7 of 8 saves for relief of the Barrie Colts, only giving up that 1 goal to Brandon Coe so far.
Yeah, and Chartrand in the second start ever, giving up a few more goals than he did in that first start against the Battalion. As the puck's out to the neutral zone for Matthews. Matthews looking over for a chance, and he brings it in close to Verbettick. And Verbettick coming in with a nice stop as Matthews looked like he looked around and said, I don't have anyone, so I guess it's all me coming in on Big Joe.
I really like that drive to the net. I think that's something players need to do a little bit more often, especially for the North Bay Battalion. I'd like to see Brandon Coe do that a little bit more. Drive to that net, use that big body, and try and put a little bit of fear in that goaltender, not knowing whether or not you're going to be able to stop or you're going to run right through them. But this Barrie Colts team is going to have to find a way in. Marty Williamson looking at juggling his lines here in this second period of play.
Big hit into the corner by Nelson. And we're going to get another stoppage in play off after a quick little couple of seconds of play.
Glove hand pass there by the Barrie Colts. Only one to see it was the linesman who dropped the puck as he was still in the offensive zone himself. So Barrie Colts picking up that glove pass. Face-off coming right in front of the broadcast booth outside North Bay Battalion territory.
Barrie Colts win it back into their own zone. And they're looking to get it up real quick as they carry it into the Battalion zone. A shot comes in wide. Matthews picking it up. Over to Van Steensel, he loses it. Van Steensel knocking it down the ice, and Lemieux's the first one to pick it up. Two number 14s, Lemieux and Wakely collide, and now Van Steensel behind the net has it. He tries to get it out to Winslow. Winslow loses it to Grisolia, but then Winslow picks it back up in his own zone. Winslow around the net. He sold shooting it up the other way pretty well, but then instead gets it down to Nelson. And Arnsby's going to chip it down, and Wakely's going to go after it, so no icing. Clark takes Wakely into the boards and leaves it for Allenson. Allenson looking up ice to Tabak. Tabak gets it up to Forster. And then he throws down Mathurin in a bit of an awkward fall. But Mathurin's all right, and of course he just came back from a shoulder injury. And now left for Russell, who takes the shot, and Lalama standing tall. Mathurin tries to get back into Coe, but he skips over his stick. It's up for Clark, who gets it quickly up to Forster. Cross ice now. Tabak. Looking for it. Tries to get it in deep, and he does. Ladd nearly taken out by Haight. And Mathurin's going to go up after Forster on the far side half wall. Russell looking up ice. Gets it to Ladd. Ladd looking up ice now. Chips it in. And Coe goes after it, but Lalama gets to it first and sends it over into the corner. Now coming away with it is Coe, with a little bit of a jumping action. He leaves it for Ladd, who then passes it up to Russell, and Russell chips it in. What would have been a nice chip from the rough onto the green at 18 at Osprey Links, Derek.
Can't wait. Just saw a picture there of the Osprey Golf Course, and they have the dog running around today chasing the geese away from the course as it's starting to look snow-free for most of the fairway, so it's looking good there, and hopefully get on the golf course soon, early in May, maybe the end of April. But good job here by the Battalion as they still lead by 3, 4-1 with 6:20 left here in this middle frame.
Yeah, I can't be thinking about too much golf right now. We want the Battalion to go on a bit of a long run here as Tarasevich gets it in deep for Petrov. Petrov looking up, but he can't, so he leaves it in the corner for Podolou. Podolou comes away with it after going up against Punnett, and Podolou sends it back to Christopoulos, who sends it in to Lalama, who just gloves it down. And you know what was wild about last year was that we were able to golf in early April, and then of course COVID shut everything down again. So it was like, oh, the one time, guys, come on.
Yeah, we got an early start last year, but then COVID shut it down for another month. Course was in great shape at Osprey last year. I know I'm anxious to get back out there, hoping sooner than later. I started looking at golf courses a little bit closer down south and might start opening soon so I can get an extra round or two in.
Quick shot off the face-off from Christopoulos. Lucan picks it up and sends it on net. Lalama with the pad save. Back out to the point for Christopoulos, who takes the shot. It's knocked down by Lalama, but he couldn't quite get it as it bounced back and hit the post behind him. Christopoulos now taken down to the neutral zone by McDonald. And it looks like we're going to get a call here. Or a hand pass.
Yeah, a hand pass a little bit late, but it was as Christopoulos gloved that down and absorbed the hit as he didn't signify for the fair catch. So as a result, it was picked up by the North Bay Battalion and flagged for an illegal forward pass by hand. So it's going to come back just outside the blue line of the North Bay Battalion zone.
Oh my, what is going on right now? We were just talking about every sport but hockey. By the way, I'm going to see the Jays play next Friday, so we might as well get that one out of the way too. Sema coming up. He tries to get it into Lalama. And I know last game Matt and I were talking about Tim Tebow, which was highlighted in my highlight pack. Thank you to Mr. Ben Long about it. So here we are talking about golf, football.
Well, when you see some of the saves that Joe Verbettick's been making, he looks like a catcher back there sometimes going down to block that ball from getting behind. He's got that active glove and does a great job falling to the butterfly to keep all those pucks in front of him. So a good job, just like any good catcher would know.
He's probably a little bit better defensively than Gary Sanchez, but you don't have to worry about that anymore as a Yankees fan, eh?
No, good trade.
Romani coming in with the shot, and what a great save by Lalama. What a glove save, and then of course he stopped it. Held it for a second, then he did the how you doing look on it.
So was it a good glove save or Romani just being so precise in his shot that he put it right into that trapper that was yawning there at Lalama, just reacting after he made the save to make it look even better from up here.
Well, you know what? The score's 4-1 right now. You have to make it look good somehow, right? As the puck's back out to the blue line for Sema, and it's chipped down the ice for Cardwell to go after. Cardwell in the Battalion corner on the near side. He gets it out to York. York fanning on it. And Romani goes after it. But instead it's back to Tiller. Tiller takes the shot and it rolls up strangely. It's like a magnetic or gravity pull into Verbettick's glove because there was a couple of tips there. And it just kind of rolled into Verbettick's glove with 5:01 left in the second.
See, to me that save looked a lot better than the one we saw down at the other end. As he had to move his glove in order to track that puck that was going maybe a little wide outside, and he had to reach out to keep that from going in that far corner. But still 4-1 here with just over 5 minutes left to play. Battalion looking strong at both ends of the ice so far in this first period and 3 quarters.
Yeah, we at the Frontline Game Day broadcast could never be worried about being called homers ever. But hey, here we are. As Wakely comes in for the draw, and Grisolia wins it back. Another quick shot in on Verbettick, but a pad save gets it, and Wakely's away with it. Wakely dumps it down the ice. Arnsby's the first one to get it. He leaves it for Van Steensel. Van Steensel sends it up for Arnsby, but it's out of his reach, and Allison chases after it. Wakely with the body check, loses it, and Clark is up through the neutral zone now into the Battalion zone. Clark looking from a sharp angle to get it out front. He can't quite get it there, but he picks it up in the corner anyways. Now Mathurin with it. Mathurin losing it in the corner, but gets it over to Ladd. Ladd up to Wakely, who turns around and looks up ice. Van Steensel now through the neutral zone, leaving it for Wakely. Wakely, one of the goal scorers, fans on his pass, and Allison's going to come away with it. Matthews coming in, gets around the zone to Clark, and the two captains who have a bit of a history in this game, Arnsby and Clark, collide again. Puck back into the Colts zone, and Clark goes after it. Clark behind his net looking up ice for some options as the Colts complete a bit of a change too, looking for Forster up at the Battalion blue line. Ladd picking it up instead, but he's taken off the puck by Forster and has to regroup. Coe comes in for a hit on Haight and just jumps it back into the Battalion zone. Nelson looking up ice, leaves it for Ladd instead. Ladd up to Coe, who just tips it in, and he didn't get a hold of it, the linesman says, and it goes for icing.
So no change allowed here, but really liking the team speed here of this North Bay Battalion, both the defense and offense. Just when you're talking about those crisp passes, the Battalion seem to be hitting their teammates right in stride, not allowing their players to keep going at full speed. And it just creates a little bit more opportunities that the D can take when they have so much speed, not afraid to make a mistake as they know they can get back there with their foot speed.
And the Battalion definitely taking some risks as well, but it's worked out in their favor so far as the puck is pinned on the far side half wall. Left for Nelson in the corner, who gets it back into the far side half wall. And that's just where most of the play is going to take on this one. Back to Akey at the point. Akey with the shot, but it's blocked and bounces all the way into the Colts bench.
So with 3:12 left here, faceoff's going to come inside the Battalion territory to the left-hand side of Joe Verbetic. Barrie Colts looking to try and cut into this lead here before this second period expires, but the Battalion doing a great job clogging up the middle of the ice, not allowing Barrie really to get anything going here in the Battalion zone.
Colts win the faceoff, back out to the neutral zone for Clark. Clark's going to dump it in. He's going to rim around for Tabak to get to it, the near side half wall. Nelson takes him to the board, and instead now it's in the corner. Coe picking it up, leaves it for Russell. Russell looking up ice, tries to dump it over Allenson and chase after it. Russell losing it to Allenson, who gets it to Clark. Is back for Haight, and then Forster picks it up. Tabak now at his blue line. He sends it in, but Allenson picks it up instead, but it's left for Haight, and it's tipped in by Winslow's stick as Haight tried to get it cross crease. And off Winslow's stick into Joe Verbetic's pads, and now we get Everlong played, and I wonder if they know that it's Dave Grohl who plays drums on Everlong.
I wanted to talk about hockey, how that stick by Winslow made the save look difficult for Joe Verbetic, but with knowing that the guy was wide open back door, I think that was a lot easier save than what Verbetic would have had to have done if he would have tried to get across post to post there.
You know what else is difficult? The drum track of Everlong that Dave Grohl played on. As the as the Colts win it back, but the Battalion get it behind their net. Nelson skating around a couple of Colts players, gets it up to Petrov, who sends it for Tarasevic. Cross ice for Podolou. Podolou can't get a handle on it, but he dumps it in eventually. Punnett now in the zone end, leaves it for Jelsma. Jelsma looking up ice, and it's McDonald who sends a cross ice for Punnett. Punnett with a nifty little move. He gets in and takes the shot. Got around Lukin pretty solidly and then gets the shot away on Verbetic. Tarasevic had Petrov home free, but he couldn't get across ice. As Tiller gets a nice little stick in the way. Punnett looking up ice. And it's left for Jelsma. Jelsma getting around Lukin, but Lukin with a nice stick stops him up. And it's left for McDonald. McDonald in the corner with Arnsby chasing after him. And Arnsby just takes him down to the ice. Arnsby looking like a football player out there now with his leg work, kind of pushing him up the way he was pushing him up against the board. So maybe talking about football's not so out of the realm as the Colts regain possession. York gets it in with a shot from McDonald from the far side face-off dot, and we'll get another stoppage of play.
Yeah, football schedule coming out the first week of May, so we're going to get an idea of when we might be going to Buffalo to take in a game. And just starting Monday is Masters Week in Georgia, so we can talk a little golf too, Bob, during the second intermission. Are we going to see or are we not going to see Tiger Woods this year at the Masters tournament as that's getting underway here, and we're ever so close to golf season?
Producer Ben Long's just going to be pulling his hair out by the end of this game. as the puck's out front and it misses the net from the Colts. What a great chance for Cardwell, and the Battalion go the other way. Stopped up at the blue line. Arnsby picks it up, and he tries to send it back in deep, and he loses the handle in the neutral zone. It's around Jelsma, or Jodwin, and sends it in with just under a minute left of the second period now. Cardwell with speed through his zone into the neutral zone and up, and sends a cross ice into the corner. Shot coming in quickly from York, and is behind the Battalion net, and left up for Van Steensel. Van Steensel now chasing after it. He goes after it into the corner, and it's left behind the Colts zone, or net. Coe losing the handle on it, and Ladd just dumps it back in cross ice with 25 seconds now left in the second period. Lemieux tries to get it up ice for Coe. Coe is cutting into the middle of the ice. He tries to get the backhanded shot away, but he fans from the slot. Russell now in the corner, looking around for it. He has 14 seconds. Gets it over to Coe in the near side corner. Coe behind the net to Russell. Russell looking for some options. He tries to get out front to Coe, and the puck slips over his stick. Nelson with 4 seconds on the clock. He takes the shot. Blocker saved by Lalama. And it's out to Winslow, who sends it in on net, and it never gets there as the puck has this stoppage of the second period, or second intermission is where we go, as I stumble over my words trying to get to that point. So Derek, a little bit of a fast-paced period, but only one goal for both teams.
Yeah, fast-paced period. No penalties again in that second period. Only one in the first period. Battalion adding that one goal by Brandon Coe, his 34th of this season, has given the Battalion a 3-goal lead here through 40 minutes of play. Let's welcome back in Bob Coles for the ever-popular second intermission.
Thank you very much, Derek and Courtney, and we'll have a little round table coming up in a couple of minutes about various hockey-related issues as we get into the lateness of the regular season, and the playoffs are starting to clear up and starting to get that picture of what some of the matchups will be. Around the OHL, after 2 periods, Hamilton blanking Peterborough 5-0. Sudbury down 4-2 to Mississauga. Again, if Mississauga loses today and North Bay wins, so these results hold up, the Central Division is in clinch, but Mississauga cannot win the Central Division. And Ottawa is leading Niagara 3-1. And Kitchener and Erie 4-2 for the Otters. Late second period. Later it's Guelph, Saginaw, Kingston, Oshawa. And congratulations to Kingston play-by-play voice Jim Gilchrist. On Friday night he did a 2,900 Kingston Frontenac's game. Jim, a great guy. Love to see him a couple of times a year here. Maybe we'll see him in the playoffs, but congratulations to Jim Gilchrist. Just one goal in that second period. Battalion got it, so they're up 4-1 after 2. The shots were 14-11 Barrie in the second, 23-20 Colts overall. No penalties in that second period. Faceoffs won 28-18 in favor of Barrie. The Battalion got the first 3 goals of the game in the first by Dallin Wakely with his 16th, Kyle Jackson's 28th, and Michael Potelow's 7th. Ethan Cardwell with his 21st for Barrie. Just one goal in that second period. Brandon Coe's 34th from Kyle Jackson. So Jackson a 2-point game. Coe a 2-point game. And it's 4-1 after 2 periods of play for North Bay over Barrie. These teams will meet one more time Saturday night at the Saddlon Arena at 7:30. Before then, our next game day broadcast will be Thursday night when the Battalion hosts Mississauga in the final meeting of the regular season between the two Central Division rivals. And who knows what the scenarios will be as far as the division are by Thursday, but the game promises to have some importance for North Bay, that's for sure. So 4-1 after 2 here as we bring in Derek. And Derek, second period, didn't know how it was going to go in that period, but it looked like Brandon Coe's goal to make it 4-1 really settled things for the Battalion.
Yeah, North Bay took it early again, the same kind of start we wanted as the Barrie Colts tried to get back into it. They entered the period with down 2 goals, but Brandon Coe adding another brilliant shot there as he was in all alone again. But when you're talking about teams, you're talking about just their team speed, and they're just playing such a good team effort game right now, and they're looking really prepared for playoff time hockey. Still undecided really where they're going to finish and who they're going to face, but it looks kind of like leaning towards Ottawa or Oshawa right now in that first round.
Well, it'll be interesting if it's Oshawa because they do play them twice in the last week. The final home game a week from Thursday, and then the final game on a Sunday in Oshawa. So we'll have to keep on track of those standings as we head down the stretch. And we look forward to Thursday night already. Could be a big one against Mississauga for sure. So let's talk some of the issues. Let's bring in Courtney and talk Powassan Voodoos. The schedule's out right for the Voodoos starting their playoff run against Hearst.
Yeah, it's going to be starting up next Thursday in Hearst. So the Battalion don't have home ice advantage. They finished third. The Hearst Lumberjacks finished second. And the Timmins Rock are playing whoever, I haven't really looked, but it's between the French River Rapids and the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners to have a little bit of a play-in series. And then it's going to be the Battalion and Hearst and Rock over against either the Rapids or Gold Miners. So as it stands right now, yeah, Thursday, April 7th, the Voodoos will be up in Hearst at 7 p.m. Game 2 will take place the very next night up in Hearst on the 8th. And then the first game that fans get to see down here in Powassan will be Sunday, April 10th. And then Game 4 will be Monday, April 11th. And then Game 5, if necessary, will be April 13th in Hearst. Game 6, if necessary, will be April 15th in Powassan. And Game 7 will be April 17th at Hearst, of course, if necessary. So the troops are going to have a bit of a fight on their, or the Voodoos, I should say, are going to have a bit of a fight on their hands as they take on the Hearst Lumberjacks. And Hearst is a good team. They're a very solid team, and a little bit of an interesting wrinkle in the plan is head coach of the Voodoos, Mark Lafleur, used to coach the Hearst Lumberjacks. He actually coached them to a 2019 championship in the NOJHL, so a little bit on the line, of course, for Mark Lafleur, who's now the head coach for the Powassan Voodoos.
What is the buzz about the Voodoos? You've seen, you're pretty close to that team. What are some maybe season highlights they've had? What type of team are they? What are you expecting?
They're not a team that has. So in 1920, they had two game breakers. Parker Bowman, who went on to play for the men's Lakers team this year, was the captain, and Gregory Trudeau-Paquette, who's aged out and now is busy being a father. So good for you, Greg. It's wonderful to see. They were two game breakers for the Voodoos type of thing. So they could beat you with skill and speed. This team is a little bit slower. They get contributions all up and down the lineup. They don't really have one guy that really drives the offense. Rodion Tatarenko, who Battalion fans have become aware of, was their leading point getter. They also have David Levin's younger brother, Mike Levin, who's a pick of the London Knights. He had 21 goals in like 25 games or something for the Voodoos this year after coming over. And then obviously Chase McQueen Spence as well as a point getter for them. They also have a young lad from Texas named Jacob DuPont, who scored 15 goals in a short amount of time or somewhere around there. He was only with the team for the second half of the year, so that's pretty good production for just the second half of the year. So they don't really have one guy. Goaltending is a bit of a weakness this year, I find, compared to other years. They don't have an Owen Sayer or Christian Chichagoy or Joe Verbetic, who's putting up like 920-plus save percentages. They had Owen Ray and Alex Buyega, who both had about 904, 905 save percentages. Still good seasons, but they're prone to giving up a bad goal here or there. And my real concern for the team is the defense, really, to be honest with you. They have about three really solid defensemen, and then the other guys on any given night can step up, but it's a question of if they can. And then the last Voodoos game I went to, they only had two regular defensemen in the lineup, so they were playing forwards at D due to injuries and illness. So hopefully they've had some time now to get better, and hopefully that they can turn things around and take Hearst. It's not going to be an easy series either way for the Voodoos. It's going to be a dogfight to get through, this best of 7.
Well, we wish the Voodoos best of luck. And again, next Sunday and Monday, there will be games in Powassan, games 3 and 4 against the Hearst Lumberjacks. So we look forward to that. And we also look back to the NOHA. I mean, let's bring in Derek to talk the OHL Cup. Team NOHA, I would think they had a pretty, didn't do well in their last game, but overall they went 2-2. A successful, very representative of the hockey talent in Northern Ontario.
Yeah, exactly that, Bob. They started off red hot, beating the London Knights in their first game 5-3, and then losing the afternoon game to the not Vaughan Kings, but the York Simcoe Express, and rebounding with a nice convincing win over the Don Mills Flyers, which set up a game Friday morning against the Vaughan Kings, and basically the winner of that game was going to advance to the medal rounds and the quarterfinal round. Unfortunately, the Vaughan Kings were a little too strong for Team NOHA, so NOHA finished fourth in their pool, but looked a lot better than that. And especially for Northern Ontario, a team that only really gets together to play in this tournament, that seems to be their record for the last few years, dating back to 2016, is they've never finished better than really a 2-2 record. And when you're thinking about a team, especially from the wide range of area that the Team NOHA really covers, it's hard to get these kids together to play against these teams that play together all year round. Team NOHA, they were made up of basically 10 players from North Bay, 7 from Sudbury, there was a kid from Timmins, and just they didn't have any representation from the Sioux areas. Those kids played for the U18 team this year, and unfortunately they were away at provincial championships. But just leading the way for the basically Team NOHA was Mason Ray. He led the team with 3 goals throughout the 4 games. Marshall McCharles picked up 4 assists throughout every game. He picked up 1 point in each game. Caleb Dawson had a goal and assist himself. And Caleb Papineau, the goaltender for the U16 North Bay Trappers, won both games that he saw in action in down there. So they were really well represented. And basically the North Bay Trappers did an excellent job raising their stock for the upcoming OHL draft. Right now it looks like Nolan Newton and out of Sudbury and Mason Ray seem to be the top 2 guys from the north that are going to be representing in that OHL draft. Excuse me. But when you're looking at it, you've got probably about 7 or 8 good prospects that could be drafted from that Team NOHA, and a lot of them out of this North Bay area. They did a great job down in Toronto, in which the finals are going to happen tomorrow night as the Mississauga Senators take on the Toronto Junior Canadiens for that OHL Cup. That game usually televised on TV. I haven't really seen if it is or not, but that game's going to happen Monday night at 7 o'clock start down from Toronto area.
Well, it should be fun. It was also an important week for the Battalion Brass boys. They were down there to check it out. I know Ryan Houlihan was down there, Adam Dennis, the team's GM. Also, Scott Ray was there to see his son, as you just mentioned. Our friend Chris Dawson, who's put together those U16 video packs through Dollstar Video. His son Caleb was on the team for NOHA. So it's a big week for the OHL teams, isn't it, boys?
Yeah, this OHL Cup, this is basically the big opportunity that the teams get to showcase themselves as a provincial championship. There is no provincial championship per se for the U16 group. This is their provincial championship. It takes the whole season to get invited into this tournament. The teams from the GTHL and the Alliance and OMHA, they have to qualify for this. Team NOHA, they get 1 spot, so they have usually a summer camp to start looking at the players to go represent. So it's a little bit harder for that Team NOHA, but this is in a central location at the Scotiabank Centre in Toronto. All the OHL teams get together to watch this and scout their players. It's highly scouted and a really good tournament for U16 players.
Okay, so a great event every year. I know a lot of teams and parents and players look forward to it, and Team NOHA did a good accountability for themselves, and good luck to those players who took part in the upcoming OHL draft, which is just a few weeks away. As for this building today, North Bay leading Barrie 4-1, and we'll try to get into all the scenarios, but basically if North Bay wins and Mississauga loses, but Mississauga's ahead, Mississauga cannot win the division. but North Bay has not clinched yet. North Bay could only clinch if they win today and Barrie loses at least one more game. So, and maybe more than that, depending on tiebreakers. So, regardless, no division titles being clinched today, and it's possible it could be clinched Tuesday, but unlikely. So it looks, Derek, like Thursday night. People should think about going to Thursday night's game. It's a big game. North Bay can really solidify that division title, possibly. So check it out Thursday night. This team's worth checking out. They're a top 10 team, and I really could tell people, like, come to the Gardens, watch these guys. They're one of the best junior teams in the country.
Exactly that. That's their second week in a row. They've been in the top 10 again in the CHL, coming in this week at 10th, but looking like another strong week to set them up for another stay in that top 10. But it looks like when you're looking at the Eastern Conference, Hamilton is basically wrapped up the Eastern Conference, so they're going to finish that number 1 seed no matter what. But the Battalion have a great opportunity to take that second seed in the Central Division, which is going to give them basically home ice advantage in those first 2 rounds if they get there. And they're going to need the support there of the 7th man. And what better opportunity to come out and check and play against the Mississauga Steelheads. That's going to be a playoff-like atmosphere within this building, and a great opportunity to see the North Bay Battalion possibly clinch the Central Division.
Yeah, North Bay with a 5-point lead in the standings. Both teams leading this afternoon, so that'll probably be the scenario come Thursday night. And we'll have the game day broadcast for you at 6:50. You bring Courtney for a second. Courtney, people didn't check out the podcast this week. Tell us about it.
So thanks to our producer here, Ben Long, for hooking us up with Brady Leavold with puck support. He's doing work with VS Group here in North Bay, so a little bit of a free shout out for VS Group. We've got to start holding my hand out here soon. But no, he hooked us up with Brady Leavold, who you had the chance to interview here as well on the broadcast. Great guy. He has a lot of interesting insight into the world of hockey, and he's lived a harrowing tale. You can read up about it on Sportsnet. There's a big read on his whole story from Garrett Joyce. You can also check out the podcast as well. We didn't delve too deep into his story. We just were there mostly to talk about puck support and mental health and addiction issues with players starting from younger than OHL players. You know, it happens young for some of these guys, or it even happens later on in life as well when you have that big injury at the next level or something and you just can't quite get past it. So they give you a prescription for something, and next thing you're addicted to that, and next thing you're homeless or your life spirals out of control. And he's a great voice on that matter.
Yeah, super resource for young hockey players, and you can check out Puck Support and listen to the Frontline podcast with Courtney Kenny and Tom Parise wherever you find your podcasts, and I'm sure they'll have another great show coming up this week. They usually come down Wednesday afternoon. So the team's back on the ice for the third period. North Bay leading Barrie 4-1, and let's see what kind of last 20 we got, boys.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and we look forward to talking to you again post-game. But through 40 minutes of play, it's been dominated by the North Bay Battalion. They have a 4-1 lead here, but shots in favor of the Barrie Colts, 23-20. Courtney, take us away for the call of this third period.
Thank you very much, Derek. As the puck is dropped to the Battalion in their home greens going right to left, and the Colts in their road whites going left to right to start the period. We're 8 seconds in as the Colts get it back into their own zone. Akey up to McDonald. He loses the handle of it, and Winslow chases after it. Winslow into his own zone, taking off the puck, and it's left out front for Lemieux to take the shot, and it goes wide of Verbetic's net. Cardwell back to Akey. Akey back off to Cardwell. Takes the shot, but it's blocked by Jackson, and Nelson goes after it with Jelsma. Coe now looking cross ice for Jackson. Jackson already picking up a goal in this one, leaves it for Russell. Russell with the shot, trying to pick the far top corner. He misses the net on Lallama. Nelson tips it up, and it's into Lallama's net, and he just blocks it away with his left leg, or right leg, I should say. McDonald being harassed by 2 green jerseys, and Arnsby gets it up to Van Steensel. He's stood up by Clark, who gets it up to Haight, and Haight carries it on him. Haight over to Clark, and Clark tries to just look for another option, leaves it for Allenson. Allenson looks to take the shot, but instead leaves it for Forster, but it's blocked in front. What a heavy shot by Forster, and Never got through as Clark goes after it. And it's left up for Haight, who loses it, but Forster's there quickly to get it. Ladd regrouping in his own zone, picking it up. Gets it up to Mathurin, who just gets it up to Van Steensel, who chips it in. Allenson chasing after it. He collides with Wakely. And now it's back to Allenson on the far side corner. Allenson skates it up. Leaves it for Haight. And Christopoulos goes after it. Christopoulos and Forster come together in the corner, and it's left for Mathurin. Mathurin behind his net, up to Van Steensel, who gets it up and around Clark. Van Steensel up to Tarasevic, and he leaves it for Podolou. Podolou with a hard shot, and it hits the blocker of Lalama. And punt it now in the near side corner. Gets it around Petrov and up to the neutral zone for Lukin. And Lukin just sends a cross ice into the far side corner for Tiller. Tiller looking behind his net, leaves it for punt it, and he gets it up to York. Punt it now through the neutral zone. Skating it up through in front of family and friends, the Powassan product that is. And he gets it back around into the far side or near side for Jodwin. Petrov now picking it up. Petrov coming in with some speed. Petrov all alone. Petrov with the shot! And Matvey Petrov makes it 5-1 North Bay as he beats Lalama on the breakaway.
Petrov with his 36th of the season. Great job using his body to protect the puck there and just flipping it over the shoulder of Lalama has extended the battalion lead here now to 4 as they have 17:31 left in this third period of play and lead 5-1. But a good job there, Matvey Petrov holding off that puck and using it on his forehand, flipping it over that shoulder as the battalion are up 5-1.
What a great goal by Petrov to get the battalion back underway here in the third period. 17:25 left. And it's up to the neutral zone for the Colts. The Colts through the neutral zone, leaving it for Akey. Akey taking the shot off Lucan's foot. And it's behind the net. Back to Lemieux at the point. Lemieux tries to take the shot. He loses it to Sema. Sema now through the neutral zone. He almost had a jump on it, but instead loses it. Romani, cross ice to Outwater, who fans on the shot. Outwater's been getting a lot of good chances between Thursday's game and today. Winslow now back behind the net for Romani. Romani chasing after it, and he loses the handle of it, and Matthews up through the neutral zone. And a big hit there at the blue line, and the battalion carry it back out, but now here comes Jelsma getting it into the zone, but a little poke check by Verbetic stops that one up, and Sema picks it up. Sema trying to get it out, but it's off a body in front, and Cardwell picks it up instead. Jelsma out front to Cardwell with a shot and a big rebound. Winslow gets it into the corner, and it's out front to Allenson. Allenson from the point looking back for Clark. Clark looking for some options. He skates it over to Cardwell. Cardwell with the shot, hits the post, and it hits someone in front and bounces back into Verbetic's net. So it's now a 5-2 game with 16:14 left in the third.
Cardwell with his second strange goal of the season here. 22 on the season, has cut the lead back to 3 here. 5-2 with 16:14 leaving as Cardwell was allowed to walk into the top of that slot. Shot it, but it went off of the post and then strikes, it looks like the foot of Wakely before going in behind.
I think it was Nelson.
Or Nelson, sorry. I just saw the 4 there. Nelson, and going across the line for another weird one for Ethan Cardwell, 22 on the season, 5-2 with 16:13 left here in the third.
Battalion with possession off the face-off. As we're a little bit backlogged here with the announcements as we're just getting the battalion goal here. Jackson now in the middle of the ice up to Coe. Coe would have had a wide open net, but he couldn't get a handle on it. Coe in the corner. Gets it over for Russell. Russell basically gets a bear hug behind the net, and it's back to Coe. Coe looking up ice. And it's back for Ladd. Over to Jackson. Jackson gets a shot away, but Lalama standing tall as he was right in on the blue paint. And Russell leaves it for Jackson, who just lets it go for Coe. Coe out front to Russell. Russell looking for an open lane. He can't get it through. Jackson scores his second of the game. And Kyle Jackson once again getting closer to that 30-goal plateau. And it's 6-2 for the North Bay Battalion.
Kyle Jackson picking up his 29th of the season. Second goal of the game here as he spins and fires it past Lalama, who was out of position, expecting a shot from Russell, who left it there for Jackson, making no mistake here. 6-2 now the lead, 15:25 left in this third period of play.
Wow, the goal's coming fast and furious here. As it's now a 6-2 game with 15:20 left on the clock here in the third. As we're just getting, that's how quickly they're coming, as we're just getting to the Colts goal being announced in the ring. Clark behind his net, up to McDonald, to Cardwell. Cardwell with both goals here this evening. The only thing between Joe Verbetic and a shutout are 2 weird goals from Cardwell. As Van Steensel now with a bit of a 2-on-1 with Wakely. Over to Wakely. Wakely with a shot, nice save by Lalama. Wakely back to Van Steensel, out front to Wakely, who fans on the one-timing attempt. Over to Cardwell. Cardwell up to McDonald. McDonald, a good trade deadline acquisition from the Kitchener Rangers for the Colts. Now over to Clark. Clark skating it around, looking for options up ice. As you can hear the scorers debating who scored that one. It was pretty easy to me. It was Kyle Jackson. Maybe they're trying to get some assists on that one as Petrov loses the puck on York. With a blocker save coming from the shot off York for Verbetic. Potelou now through the neutral zone. Carries it over, left for Petrov with the shot from the point, and it just goes wide. Tarasevich over to Petrov. Petrov looked to get a chance out for Potelou, but he fanned on the pass. Petrov now at the blue line just tips it back in for Punnett to go after, and Punnett gets it up to York. York now looking up ice. He leaves it for his teammate. And it's over into the Battalion zone. And they just get it up to Tarasevich. Tarasevich gets his head taken off by Punnett. And you know the Battalion bench don't like that too much, so we'll see if there's any retribution later on. Lemieux in his own zone. Looks over and gets it to Punnett. Punnett up ice to York. York now. Tries to get it into Joe to win, but instead Nelson takes it. And then gives him a bit of a cross check to his face. And Nelson says something to him afterwards, kind of as he came in on Verbetic. But we'll get another stoppage of play here with 13:35 to go.
Cole picking up another assist here, so he inches even closer, now up to 97 points on the season, as he has 3 here tonight. But just that whole thing of looking at the assist net is the OHL off-ice official without Mike Brito just not getting the luxury of watching those goals on TV, who does such a great job giving away those assists.
Oh, the TV is set up there, so I'm not sure.
Nobody's watching it.
No, apparently not. Back to Tiller. Tiller at the point. Over to Akey. He takes the shot. It's blocked in front. I don't think it ever got to Verbetic. Mathurin now fighting with Matthews in the corner for the puck. Ladd gets it. He gets it out to the blue line, and it's tipped in. Outwater. Chasing after it, but the Colts come back into the Battalion zone with it. Amani now just pins it up against the boards, and the Battalion are just content to play the rest of the third period like that, I guess. As it's now knocked up the ice, they're just out here to kill some time off the clock. As it's back to Matthews, who takes a quick shot, and it goes wide of the net. Mathurin tips it off the off the glass and down the ice. Will it have the legs for icing? It does. So the face-off's going to come all the way down into the Battalion zone with 12:34 left.
And the referee's going to have to try and figure out who was on the ice, because the Battalion are unable to change, but it looks like they got the skaters back out there as that went down for icing. And a couple more players just making some quick changes. Still don't know who. There's missing one guy. And not really sure what's happening. But the North Bay Battalion, we do know, are taking a timeout here with what, 14 minutes left on the clock here?
About that, yeah. They took it away before we could tell. Maybe if we had our heads in the game a little bit, Derek, we would know what time it is.
I have 13:35 left on my iPad here, so just a tired group here. You don't want to be giving up that goal, even though you're up by 4 here. You don't want to give the Colts any life here with 13:35 left in this third period of play. Ryan Wilhan forced to take his time out here with that tired group of players out there on the ice.
Yeah, the Battalion just trying to get some recharged bodies out there as we see that top line of Jackson, Coe. They're still down a guy. Oh, there's Russell.
Yeah, the goalie. He's coming out now.
Yeah, no, they look. I didn't see Russell at first, but there he is there.
Oh.
We've already established multiple times math is not my strong suit, Derek. There should be 6 guys in green, and I couldn't see 6 guys, okay? Forster takes a bit of a run at Winslow.
Gets the worst of it.
Yeah, I guess that'll learn you. Russell up past the neutral zone, back to Coe. Coe cross ice to Jackson. Jackson looking for the hat trick. He gets the backhand away, but it's saved by Lalama. Forster going to the bench now for repairs. And we'll see. We'll keep an eye on if he comes back. He doesn't look like he's leaving the bench as the Battalion have it behind their net. Nelson looking to start a play in his zone. He fans on the up ice pass and then falls, and Cardwell quickly going the other way. Cardwell, the guy with the fluky goals here this evening. And they get another one as Cardwell got it back to Clark, and it beats Joe Verbetic. It's now a 6-3 hockey game.
This time, Brant Clark picking up the strange goal as somehow it trickles through the legs of Joe Verbetic as Brant Clark gets them back within 3. That's his 11th goal of the season to go along with 45 assists so far. So Brant Clark making a note on the score sheet in his first game back from a lengthy suspension as we have 6-3 now the score here, 11:49 remaining in regulation time.
Now, I'm not saying that he did this to try and get a call because it didn't work out, but the Oscars were last week and Forster was right up there high-fiving his guys right away. He looked pretty fine. So I think he a little bit of a mix-up there with Winslow, and maybe he'll learn not to do that again with Avery Winslow in the corner. Mathurin now with the puck. Gets it up to Wakely. Wakely loses it to Lemieux, and then Van Steensel comes in for the hit. You just get so used to seeing Arnsby out there, you're like, oh, he's got to be the guy throwing the body around. Arnsby carries it in, takes the shot, Lalama stops it, and Punnett clears it away. McDonald being harassed by Van Steensel, gets it across ice to Lemieux, and then Arnsby does throw his body into Lemieux on that one, and it's up to Mathurin. A couple of Battalion players missing it, but it doesn't go for icing as it bounced off and hit Lalama, almost going into his net as Punnett now behind his net. He's looking up ice. Punnett looking for some options, skates it through the neutral zone and dumps it in. It goes off for a quick change as Lukin leaves it for Tarasevic. Back to Cardwell, out front for Jelsma. What a chance for Jelsma, but he couldn't get a handle on it. And Podolou now to Petrov, over to Tarasevic. Tarasevic up through the blue line, over to Christopoulos, over to Petrov, and he couldn't get a shot away. Back behind the net to Tarasevic, who gives it away to McDonald. And Lukin keeps it at the blue line, but only momentarily as Cardwell gets it out, and then Tarasevic knocks it back in. Petrov skating after it, one of the goal scorers here this evening for the Battalion. And it's back to Tarasevic, who loses the handle on it. Akey tries to get it up. And it's up to Grisolia. And Akey goes after it in the corner. Puck now behind Verbetic's net, leaves it for Petrov. Petrov tries to flip it up and out, and he does. And Clark, the most recent goal scorer in the game, now chips it back out to the neutral zone for Grisolia. He can't get a handle on it. It's left for Clark again. Clark skates it into the Battalion zone and gets up into the neutral zone. Back into the Battalion zone as Yorks goes for a bit of a skate. Leaves it for Clark. Clark with a shot. It's blocked in front by Grisolia. Grisolia tries the sharp angle shot. His stick explodes, but he did get the shot away. And Winslow now tries to get up to Coe, who can't quite gain the Colts zone. Jackson batting it down for Coe, who then leaves it for Russell, but it goes too far for Allenson. Allenson over to Clark. Gets it up to Jodwin. Jodwin now gets it in, and it just rolls in on Verbetic. We're going to have our mid-period stoppage here, so we'll bring back in Mr. Bob Coles. We'll tell you what's coming up for the post-game show.
Well, coming up in the post-game show, we'll talk about the third period, how it went and overall for North Bay, and what the playoff scenarios are as we head down the stretch. There's 5 games left for the troops. Just 2 more home games, and we'll talk all about that coming up. North Bay up 6-3. Midway here in the third period, but one thing about Barrie, they're going to keep coming, and they've got nothing to lose right now. They're behind by 3 goals, so they're going to be in attack mode for the last stretch here in the third period. And those 2 goals here, boys, in this period for North Bay, pretty big right now, because otherwise it'd be a 1-goal game.
Thanks a lot, Bob, and we'll catch up with you for sure in our post-game segment after this game. But still, North Bay still has some work to do here, leading 6-3, 9:13 left. But the Barrie Colts picking up that last goal, Brandon Clark, making it a 3-goal game, and they're looking to try and get back into it. Currently leading in shots, 30-26 for the Barrie Colts.
Hey, Mitchell Russell came into the game with 139 points. He's just right behind a guy who made a couple of highlights recently at the NHL level, Nick Paul with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who has 140. Good to see Mitch Russell climbing up past Ryan Houlihan. That's something that we get to tighten the screw a little bit on that one. As Coe comes in, takes a shot from the sharp angle and misses, but it's kept him by Nelson at the blue line, who gets it all the way up to Coe again, but he can't get the handle on it. Coe gets it back to Winslow, and Forster takes a run at Winslow again. I'm starting to think those two guys don't like each other too much. Forster carrying it into the Battalion zone. He's at the near side half wall. Leaves it up for Winslow, but when he ends up getting it past him and all the way over to Lemieux. Forster now in the near side corner. He gets it. And he goes into it, but Haight picks it up instead, and it's left for Tabak. Haight looking around for some options, left for Punnett. Punnett takes the shot, but it's blocked by a maze of bodies in front. And Nelson tries to get it out, but it hits another body on the way out. Punnett tries to jump up and get a hold of it, but he can't get it, and it's all the way down to his zone. But it's back up for Tabak at the Battalion blue line. Tabak tries to chip it in, but it's left for Coe. Coe picking it up, looking for some options, goes cross ice for Mathurin. Mathurin now skates it in front of Verbetic and sends it out for Nelson. Nelson looking up ice, and he gets it to Russell, who just lets it go and chips it in, and then the troops go for a quick change. Clark to Allenson. Allenson looking around for some options, leaves it for Clark. Clark looking up ice and just decides to skate it up through the neutral zone himself. Carries it into across the blue line, loses it to Ladd, and Arnsby's there to pick it up. Arnsby sends it up ice, but gives it away to Clark. Clark back to Allenson. Allenson from the outside of the slot shoots it, but it's blocked by Van Steensel. To Clark, over to Jelsma. Jelsma over to Allenson, back to Clark at the point, back to Allen. Allenson now left up for McDonald, and Verbetic with a big save. His 27th of the game at 6-3. It was 7:23 left in the third period.
Another one where Joe Verbetic made the save and looked behind him. Kind of that feeling that last one that Brent Clark snuck through there. Verbetic a little anxious to see that puck stayed underneath him, as it's still a 3-goal lead here. 7:23 to play, but great job there by Owen Van Steensel laying down to block that shot. That's something you want to see, that those little things, if you're head coach Ryan Houlihan, is knowing that player is going to go down and block those shots. Van Steensel taking that shot off the shin pads before he was able to make its way through to Verbetic.
Yeah, any shot that you can stop before your goalie is a save he doesn't have to make. That's 25,998. 2,598 is the attendance here at Memorial Gardens. Gotta love seeing that number go up as Tarasevic carries it through the neutral zone. And he stops up, looks for some support, and he nearly loses it to Matthews, and he does. Matthews gets it up ice to his teammates. Matthews skating it up, leaves it for Tiller. And then Tarasevic just turns around looking for Petrov. But Petrov wasn't in a position to get it, and Akey carries it into his own zone and sends it back up the ice. Colts now tries to get it up. They do into the Battalion zone, but Christopoulos grabs the puck. Christopoulos looking to get it through the neutral zone. He leaves it for Petrov. Petrov skates it into the Colts zone. Leaves it for Tarasevic, who takes the sharp angle shot. Is off the side of the net. Back out to Lukin. Lukin at the point, looking up ice to Tarasevic. Tarasevic back to Petrov. Petrov behind the net, looking up front, looking for some options. He skates it around, goes for a game of keep away with the Colts, and sends it out front for Tarasevic, who's promptly knocked down and takes a swipe at Tiller as he couldn't get the shot away. Clark now coming in with a spinorama, tries to get on Verbetic, and he does. Verbetic's swimming for it now, and he loses the handle on it. Clark pulled down, and that's going to be a penalty, much to the chagrin of the 7th man. After one call goes uncalled at the other end on Tarasevic, we get one down here for Brant Clark.
So with just under 6 minutes left, the Barrie Colts will be going to their second man advantage here of the night, as it's going to be, looks like Podolou going to the penalty box for tripping as Brian Clark tried to settle that puck down in front of Joe Verbetic. So with 5:58 left and the Battalion lead 6-3, the Barrie Colts will be going to the power play here, the second of the night, 0 for 1 so far in the power play area. But when you look at the flip side, North Bay Battalion have yet to receive a power play opportunity here in this contest.
Interesting, eh? Clark with the puck at the point. Leaves it for Forster. Forster looking around, back to Clark at the point. Back over to Allenson, who quickly gets it into the slot, back to Clark. Clark carries it around, looks for Forster. Forster up to Clark. Clark at the point, looks for some options, leaving for Allenson, who takes a quick shot, and it's in and out of the glove of Verbetic. The Battalion get it up and out into the neutral zone, and Clark goes and collects it, skates it into his own zone. Minute 32 left here on the power play. Forster with some speed carries it into the Battalion zone. And he leaves it, and it goes behind the net for Ladd. Ladd gets it up, but Clark stops at the blue line. And Forster now with it at the slot. Forster looking for the shot. He takes it in and out of the glove as Verbetic as well. Now Allenson leaving it for Tabak in the corner. And Christopoulos gets a hold of it. Christopoulos chips it up, and he can't quite get it out as it's blocked by Clark at the blue line. Back to Tabak, over to Forster at the point. Forster over to Clark. Clark, cross ice to Allenson, who tries to get it, but he can't get it past Ladd. Ladd instead sends it around for Clark, who stops it once again at the blue line. Over to McDonald. McDonald with Tabak over there. They're just going to rim it around behind the boards to Allenson. Allenson cross ice to Clark. Clark at the point, back to Forster. Forster and Clark switching positions, leaves it for Forster, who gives a fake shot, and then he holds on to it. Back to Clark. Clark looking for Forster. They're just playing pitch and catch here with 29 seconds left. Over to Quickly, looking backdoor for Allenson, who misses the shot. And Coe just calmly takes the puck and sends it down into the Colts zone with 20 seconds left here on the power play.
North Bay Battalion doing a great job taking away that one-timer for Ty Forster, who was setting up in that left-hand slot area.
Akey, cross ice. Tries to get it to Haight, but instead Wakely takes it into the boards. And the puck goes down to the blue line, and Akey gets it out, and that'll do it for Podalou's penalty. Podolou back out on the ice with Tarasevic and Wakely. And the puck's back into the Battalion zone for Nelson to go after. Nelson bumps himself into the boards, and Jelsma picks it up off the miscue. 3:43 left in the third period. And the puck goes back into the far side corner for Wakely. Wakely picking it up, looks to get it out of his zone, leaves it for Tarasevic, who just gets to the neutral zone and gets to the red line and dumps it in. The troops go for a quick change. Lama leaving it behind his net for Akey. Akey looking for some options up ice. Leaves it for Lemieux, who takes a hard hit from Van Steensel, who's getting really physical in this game. Something we haven't seen from him before, as a bouncing puck comes in on Verbetic, who just blocks it away. Cardwell tries to get the pass across to Punnett, but Petrov had a stick there, and the pass knocks Petrov's stick out of his hands, and the puck goes back down to the Colts zone. Now Jodoin gets it into the Troops zone. He chips it in right on Coe, and then Cardwell comes in and basically snows Verbetic right in the face, and so we're getting a little bit of a scrum here, and no penalties are going to come from this one.
No, you know what, when you're thinking of that snowing the goaltender, Cardwell just going hard to the net, and it's either that you stop or you run him over, and I think you'd prefer him taking that stop, and a little bit of snow is not really going to hamper Joe Verbetic much, but North Bay Battalion still don't like that, but a great opportunity there for the Barrie Colts here with 2:54 left. The Troops still up by 3 here late in this third period.
Yeah, I'll take the snow over running my starting goaltender any day. Tarasevic now through the neutral zone. Gets it to the blue line and no further as he dumps it in. Petrov losing it in the corner. He takes the body from Punnett. Punnett throwing his weight around in this one as well. Leaves it for Tiller. Tiller behind the net. Gives it back to Punnett on the far side. Punnett carries over the blue line into the neutral zone in the middle of the ice for Jodoin. Jodoin skates it around the back of the net. Looking for some options out front. Grisolia tries to get a chance. They finally get a shot on net for Verbetic on the backhand. But Verbeek standing tall with 2:17 left, gets the stoppage in play. Colts now lead 34-28 on the shot department.
Good job there by the North Bay Battalion, not allowing any of the Barrie Colts really to stand their weight round and take that puck freely in front of Joe Verbeek. Verbeek doing everything he can to take that bottom part of the net away, and the Battalion making sure no real sticks cause any havoc in front of the net as that shot just weakly goes towards the goal, and Verbeek easily hanging onto it for a whistle.
Verbeek doing his part for sure, as Christopoulos gets it up and through the neutral zone. Allenson picking up in his own zone. We're going to see a steady diet of Allenson and Clark, I would imagine, over these final 2 minutes. We'll keep an eye on Lalama, too, to see if they pull him. 2 minutes now left in the third period. Christopoulos, he carries it up in his own zone. He leaves it for Jackson. Jackson looking for the hat trick. Sends it up the ice for Allenson, who misses the puck, and Clark goes after it. Clark skates it behind his net. Gets it up ice to Matthews. Matthews cross ice. This will probably be the last time that we see this fourth line of the Colts as well. With 1:35 left, Matthews in the far corner. Gets it back to Lemieux, over to Akey. Akey takes the shot. It's blocked in front. Akey looks to reload again, takes a shot off the pads of Verbeek. And what a save by Verbeek on the rebound from Matthews. Christopoulos now, still no movement in the Colts crease. He sends it down the ice. Lemieux goes after it, and the troops go for a quick change. Lemieux looking up the ice quickly. York carries it in. York looking through his options again, goes cross ice for Lemieux. Lemieux takes a shot, it's blocked by Nelson. Minute left of regulation now, still no movement from Lalama. Akey gets it up, and the Colts bring it back into the troops zone. Arnsby stopping up, he blocks it. Sends it the length of the ice, or into the Colts zone I should say, and Tiller leaves it for Punnett. 40 seconds now left on the clock. He gets it up the ice. It's now to Grisolia. Ladd leaving it behind his net. Just looks to pin it up against the board to kill some precious time here for the Colts. Wakely still no movement in the crease. I doubt they're going to pull him now with 28 seconds left. Out to Grisolia. Grisolia gets it around, and it hits off a weird bounce off the door where the troops come out and almost goes out in front of Verbeek's net. Wakely, with 17 seconds left, just leaves it for Van Steensel. And Steensel chips it up and out. And it's going to be 10 seconds left on the clock. Punnett's going to go after it. And that's going to be about what does it here as Jodwin carries it through the neutral zone. The Battalion are going to skate away with these ever important 2 points on the Barrie Colts as the troops win this one 6-3 here at North Bay Memorial Gardens. Next up, the Mississauga Steelheads on Thursday.
Yeah, that will be an opportunity for the North Bay Battalion to clinch the Central Division and second spot overall in the Eastern Conference, but make the final here on this Sunday afternoon. North Bay Battalion 6 and the Barrie Colts 3 shots on goal, 37 for the Battalion, for the Colts, 28 for the Battalion. Now let's welcome back Bob Coles for the Long's Maple Syrup post-game show.
Thank you, boys. Another big win for the troops, and they continue on this amazing run they're on, and solidify their hold on top spot in the Central Division. They will leave today with a 5-point lead over the Mississauga Steelheads, assuming the Steelheads hold on to their game against Sudbury, up 5-3 at last check in Mississauga. And as the boys have been talking about, Mississauga will be here on Thursday night, and North Bay could have a chance to clinch the division, although Barrie does play all kinds of combinations and permutations, so we won't get into them, but basically that could be for a division title on Thursday night. So around the OHL, Hamilton blanking Peterborough 6-0 late third period. As mentioned, Sudbury trailing Mississauga 5-3 halfway through the third there. Ottawa trails Niagara 4-3. That is a final now, so the Ice Dogs win at home. That could be a Battalion opponent in the first round of the playoffs. Announcing the 3 stars, Nikita Tarasevich, the 3rd star. Kitchener losing to Erie 6-2. Brandon Coe, the 2nd star. And the 2 late games are not underway. Guelph against Saginaw, Kingston against Oshawa. And Kyle Jackson, the number 1 star with a couple of big goals for Kyle Jackson. 4 goals in that third period. North Bay up 3-1 after 1, 4-1 after 2, 6-3 the final. Shots on goal in the third, 14-8 Barrie, and Joe Verbetic several big saves in the third period to keep the margin at 3. The shots overall were 37-28 Barrie. They outshot North Bay 14-11 in the second, and each team with 9 shots in the first. Penalties, not a story in this one. Barrie 0 for 2 on the power play. North Bay did not get one. 58 face-offs, 32 won by the Colts. In the first period, Dallin Wakely 16th from Owen Van Steensel and Liam Arnsby at 105, so North Bay never trailed. Kyle Jackson's first of 2 on the night, 28th on the year from Tanias Mathurin on a nice pass, and Brandon Coe assisting at 10-13. 25 seconds later, Michael Podolou with his 7th made it 3-0 from Nikita Tarasevich. Ethan Cardwell, the first of 2 for him on the game, got his 21st from Nathan Allenson and Tyson Forster at 12 minutes. In the second, just 1 goal. Brandon Coe's 34th from Kyle Jackson. Second point for Coe, 96th on the year. Jackson with the assist at 5:30. Third period, Matvey Petrov's 36th, unassisted to make it 5-1 at 2:29. Cardwell's second, his 22nd of the year from Declan McDonnell and Nathan Allenson at 3:46. Kyle Jackson's second goal of the game, his 29th from Mitchell Russell and Brandon Coe. So 97 points for Coe. That came at 4:35. And the last goal of the game, remember when they always did that? You had to guess the last goal of the game. Brant Clark today, his 11th from Cardwell and Anthony Tabak at 8:11. So Battalion win it by a score of 6-3. And goaltending, a big story, Derek Lindemann, in this one. Barrie's goaltending early and North Bay's goaltending late. Joe Verbetic with a lot of big saves late in the game. Don't know if it would have had a factor on the who got the win, but Barrie really, they had their chances here today.
They definitely had their chances, but when you look at goaltending, it was the play of Nolan Chartrand, who started the game for the Barrie Colts, didn't have the greatest of nights and didn't really get any help, giving up 3 goals in 5 shots in just over 10 and a half minutes of play before he was pulled to give way for Lalama. And you know what? When you get off to that start that the Battalion did, it kind of gives you some confidence, allow Joe Verbetic to settle in and get his confidence in net for the Battalion. And it's just a couple weird bounces beat Joe Verbetic tonight. I really thought he was tracking the puck well from the point. Got to see a couple of tips there, which he reached out and grabbed. But definitely goaltending was that of the night. And the Barrie Colts are going to have to see what they can get for goaltending come playoff time if Matt Guzda is unable to return.
Yeah, because Guzda, when he plays against North Bay, it's a different story, right? He really stones the Battalion, and they'll need him for any postseason run, of course. We haven't seen Barrie in a while, so before the game a couple weeks ago, and of course, Matt Guzda is now property of the Florida Panthers, so we'll have to see about that, whether he's back in the lineup come Saturday or not. But you got to give the Battalion credit. They're young guys, started on time. We always hear about starting on time, and a minute 5 in, Dallin Wakely made it 1-0. Mathurin made a nice pass to Jackson for the second goal, and then just a few seconds later, Michael Podolou with a goal. So the young guys are ready to go, and solid efforts from Brandon Coe and Kyle Jackson. So the veterans contributed as well.
And when you're looking at those youngsters, you're thinking that they're coming from winning programs in the past in midget or U16 and U18 programs that have been successful. They just carry that in. They understand how important it is to get started on time here in the OHL. I know Ryan Houlihan preaches it to them to get out to that quick start, and that's exactly what they did. That starting lineup of Wakely, Van Steensel, and Arnsby, they're out there. We know that they're out there to go against those top lines of the Barrie Colts. They were out against Cardwell and Haight and Forrester to start the game, and they came out on the end of the score sheet, picking up that goal a minute 5 in, and that just slingshot everyone into that momentum, and they just got the ball rolling, and it continued rolling fast and hard downhill.
And Barrie, by the way, they've got 7 games left. Mississauga's got 3 games left, and North Bay has 5 games left. So North Bay has if Mississauga holds on, will have a 5-point lead on Mississauga. So that math is easy, as long as the game ends in regulation on Thursday night. If North Bay, Mississauga mean they can't win the division if they lose here in regulation Thursday night. Now Barrie, it's a little more complicated. The Battalion are 10 points ahead of Barrie now. Barrie has 2 games in hand, so there is a scenario where Barrie and North Bay could conceivably tie with points, and we don't know what the tiebreakers are. So there is a way that could happen, but logic tells you that if North Bay wins basically 2 more games, they win the division.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before the North Bay Battalion, with those 5 games left, to actually clinch that Central Division. As we know, they've got their next game is against Mississauga on Thursday night, 7 o'clock, big one here. With a win there, they could basically clinch the Central over Mississauga, but the Barrie Colts still have an outside shot if they run the table in their final 7 games. They finally got an X beside their name tonight after this game, as the Sudbury Wolves going down to defeat against the Mississauga Steelheads. So the Barrie Colts now with the X, so they know they're in the playoffs, and it's just a matter of where people finish. It looks like Oshawa and Ottawa are going to battle it out for that 6th and 7th spot, so the North Bay Battalion should be able to finish second and get one of those 2 teams. Either team, though, they're difficult teams. That road trip is always difficult. Anytime you go to Oshawa and Ottawa, they're difficult games. We still haven't seen Oshawa play. We still have 2 games down the stretch against them, so those are going to be a good matchup to set the stage for what possibly could be an Oshawa-North Bay first-round matchup.
Yeah, it could happen. Oshawa is a dangerous team. They have some really good young players. Their goaltending's pretty good, so it'll be interesting. I thought, we mentioned earlier about starting on time. That, I think, is the biggest impact this coaching staff has made with not only this young players, but when Ryan Houlihan came in as head coach. There's no sort of get acquainted, let's see how the game goes before we get a little intense. The Battalion are ready to go from puck drop, and I think, yes, their skill level has improved a lot over the last couple of years, no doubt about that, both in terms of their veterans and their young players. But to me, that's the impact of the coaching staff, that these guys are ready to go from puck drop right through the end of the game.
Yeah, and just looking at the stats on that first goal, the Battalion are 22-5-1 when scoring that first goal. So Houlihan preaches that let's get out to that quick start, let's get ahead and pick up the pace from there. And when giving up that first goal, 16, 14, and 4. So they're still got good numbers even when giving up that first goal. But when we were talking in the past about getting started quickly off of the opening faceoff, we were talking about seeing Battalion teams giving up 2 or 3 goals in that first 10, 15 minutes and playing from behind a lot throughout the night. When you're getting off that quick start, even if you are giving up that first goal, you're still playing hard for 60 minutes and you're not finding yourself down 2 or 3 goals quickly in that first period.
No Kyle McDonald today. Kyle Jackson with 2 goals. So a couple of factors there. I think a lot of guys picked up the slack in being physical. You mentioned Van Steensel during the broadcast. I think Courtney did. Liam Arnsby was usual itself, but a lot of the guys maybe you wouldn't expect to be physical. I know people have been asking, okay, is this team going to be physical enough in the playoffs? Well, I think we saw a good indication of that today. And, no Kyle McDonald. He's still going to miss, 3 more games. But what do you say about Kyle Jackson? I mean, this team could have 5 30-goal scorers. One of them was acquired midway through the season, but this team is dangerous at both ends of the ice.
And that's key. And what I really find key with that, especially that top line, are those cross-ice passes through the neutral zone. They're hitting people in stride, and that's exactly, Russell is one of those guys that he can skate well with the puck. When he gets it in stride, he can beat almost any defenseman here if he wants to take that puck wide and drive. They're getting easy entries into the offensive zone, getting allowed time to set up. They're crisscrossing, making it hard on defense to follow where that puck is, exactly that. And Russell only 1 goal shy of that 30 mark. It's just going to be a matter of time again before he hits 30, and we're going to see 5 30-goal scorers. But great job. Cole getting 3 more tonight. He's 3 points away from 100. Another milestone mark there, the century mark in a single season. Good things are happening for this North Bay Battalion team, and it's a great atmosphere here out at Memorial Gardens. Why not come out next Thursday night when they have an opportunity to clinch the Central Division against the Mississauga Steelheads? They're not as strong as late, but they're still a team that is dangerous come playoff time.
Yeah, speaking of Brandon Coe, you know, he's a top 5 point getter in the league. He's a top 5 assist producer in the league, and he's missed some games too. He's missed 5 or 6 games, so he could be around the 110 mark. Who knows if he was there every game? And the North Bay Battalion record for points in a season is 113 by Justin Brazeau. The franchise record 131. Wojtek Volsky, the great Brampton Battalion player, and so those are a couple of the marks. Wanted to check that one out, but you're right. I mean, Brandon Coe has been he's been amazing. He's been the leader of this team, a guy the team can count on, you know, every night to get you points and to make things easier on some of these young players. You got to give it up for Brandon Coe.
And when we looked in the past with Brandon Coe, and we talk about what kind of player he was before the pandemic, and we said he was one of those players that could play if he wanted to. It was all mental, and he spent some time last year with the Barracuda Sharks and was with the San Jose Barracuda, and he picked up some confidence playing some games up there, and he just seems to be building off of that mentally. He's using his speed, his size, and just taking the puck to those open areas. And with his skill, he's definitely creating space for Russell and for Jackson. Those guys have that speed, and when you have the 3 of them out there on the ice, you never know which player is going to be the one taking that shot and actually putting the puck in the net. 3 guys, they can all put the puck in the net. They can all skate. They're a dangerous line. This is not just a one-line team, though, when you're talking about the overall performance. It's just not that top line. They're just the icing on the cake.
Speaking of a dangerous situation, Matt Sukram's going to be on the ice in a few minutes with his son, you know, as part of a free skate with members of the North Bay Battalion. So hopefully Matt will stay out of the way of the North Bay players. Don't want anyone getting hurt.
We don't want that hanging over our head. Matt Sukram takes out battalion player, will miss rest of the season.
Well, just a final word on what should be a very exciting week for the battalion Thursday night, and then a big game with Barrie on Saturday night.
Every game down the stretch now is big. Opportunities to clinch this week that Central Division crown. Clinch home ice throughout those first 2 rounds, and maybe get the opportunity to rest a couple players down the stretch before that playoff break. They got a nice schedule, only playing 2 games a week for the next couple weeks. Getting players rested, getting McDonald back, making it more difficult to see who's going to be in and out of that lineup. This North Bay team, they've got high hopes, and they're going to make a good playoff run. It's just how can they handle some of these teams, Oshawa, Ottawa, good teams, and strong goaltending. They're going to need everything to get through that first round.
Okay, Derek, we look forward to the playoffs, which start in just over 2 weeks. Don't know the North Bay opponent, but I'm sure the first 2 games will be here at Memorial Gardens. Battalion still have not clinched home ice advantage for the first round yet, but we'll continue to update that as we move along. So again, the Battalion beat Barrie 6-3. North Bay wins its 39th of the year. 23 of those wins have come on home ice. Our next game day broadcast will be Thursday night with the Battalion and the Mississauga Steelheads, and we'll be on the air at 6:50. We thank our producer, who does a great job, Ben Long, Courtney Kenny on the play-by-play, and Derek with the color as well. Again, the final, the Battalion double up Barrie 6-3. I'm Bob Coles. Good afternoon from Memorial Gardens.